So, as you can see, we've got this nice middle wall here, which is funny because it doesn't actually help that much. And a bit of a taxi now, which goes through the area. Hauling coffins, corpses actually, up into the western Tirsfell Glades. There's another taxi going the other way. I don't know we'll catch it, though. But as you can see, the Forsaken have pretty much completely claimed the northern chunk of Silverpine here. You can tell because there's blight spreaders everywhere. Just pumping blight into the air because they're stupid. I mean, really? Why? Why would you do this? So hello, Jungies. How are things for you today? As for me, well, I suppose I have to give you guys a bit of a PG-13 rating, warning for what's about to happen. Oh, looks like the cutscene's already underway, so I gotta wait for some other player to be done with it. So I'm just gonna hang back here for a minute. While we're here, why don't we go ahead and talk about Silverpine in general for a little bit. So the Silverpine Forest used to be almost entirely Gilnean territory. Almost entirely. This, what is my imp doing? What do you... This, pretty much all the way up to about, like this, was all Gilnean territory once upon a point in time. The only exception was a little bit of this over here. Was, oh my god, long cutscene. Was, Lorerun territory. Because they're stupid, Zone. No, I'm serious. It's very, very stupid of them to do this. The only possible reason I could come up with for them spreading the blight in territories they already have owned, they've already conquered, is because it makes it more difficult, excuse me, for anyone else to be in charge. And yeah, that's how they look at all those bodies they're carrying back to death knell to be raised up as new Forsaken. Look at all those. And there's the one that goes the other way that we could get on as a taxi if we felt like it, which we don't because we're actually going like right here. We're just waiting for a cutscene to finish. So we can walk in and do our own cutscene. Yay. Hey, cool ninja. But yeah, the point is zone denial. Damn it. Not, oh god. Not anything else. Damn it. Done. Now I have the Freakazoid song stuck in my head. So like I said, Silverpine used to be Gilnean territory. In fact, we know at least another one of its barons. You remember how I mentioned when they built the wall, several people's territory was abandoned? I wasn't really kidding about that. I mean, if you look at this, they lost basically about half of their overall holdings in this area when they built the wall back here. Right about there. Literally, just almost half of it. But the really main one was this area right here. I don't even actually remember what this place used to be called. But, I need to sneeze. But Baron Silvermane was the one who was bad. So,
Hello.
Most excellent, a new recruit has arrived. There's much to do. Much to do, I say.
Goodbye.
You're just in time, Despire Noob. It is Despire Noob, right? He looks at a piece of paper. Yep, that's what the piece of paper says. Despire Noob. Where was I? Oh, yes, you're just in time. The war chief should be arriving any moment to meet with our leader and savior, the Dark Lady herself. Just stand by, be on your best behavior. I expect when this demonstration is over, we'll all receive commendations.
Where is that ogre-headed buffoon? Ah, speak of the devil.
This better be important, Sylvanas. You know how I detest this place and its foul stench. Why have you called for me? And more importantly, what are those scourge fiends doing here?
War Chief, so glad you could make it. With the death of the Lich King, many of the more intelligent Scourge became unemployed. Those fiends, as you so delicately put it, are called valkyr. They are under my command now. And they are part of the reason that I asked to see you.
Get on with it, Sylvanas!
Very well, War Chief. I have solved the plight of the Forsaken. As a race, we Forsaken are unable to procreate. With the aid of the Valkyr, we are now able to take the corpses of the fallen and create new Forsaken. Agatha, show the War Chief!
What you have done here, Sylvanas, it goes against the laws of nature. Disgusting is the only word I have to describe it.
War Chief, without these new Forsaken, my people would die out. Our hold upon Gilneans and northern Lorerun would crumble.
Have you given any thought to what this means, Sylvanas? What difference is there between you and the Lich King now?
Isn't it obvious, War Chief? I serve the Horde.
Watch your clever mouth, bitch! Chromosh, you stay behind and make sure the Banshee Queen is well guarded. I will be expecting a full report when next we meet. Remember, Sylvanas, eventually we all have to stand before our Maker and face judgment. Your day may come sooner than others.
You would know, Garrosh. The fact that Garrosh, of all people, finds this disgusting is hilarious to me. Given, that it's Garrosh.
What joy is there in this curse?
Oh, that was unexpected. I'm not one to doubt our war chief, but, never mind. We have work to do. I'm sure the Dark Lady and War Chief will get this all worked out.
Our time will come.
New layer. So, first of all, now that we're done with that cutscene, I wanted to say hi, Saren, and hello, Timesync. You mentioned, does the devil exist in Azeroth? Probably not, but at the same time, they have actually made reference to biblical proportions before, so, nothing that I'm aware of, but who knows. So, the really funny thing here is, Sylvanas is evil. We can all agree with that, right? The reason I say that's funny is because she actually has an extremely valid point. In fact, I would actually be totally on board with her if for one very important change. If the Valkyr asked for consent when resurrecting dead rather than, just doing it against their will. If that was something they were willing to do, then yeah, I would actually be completely on board with this overall plan. The Forsaken, as she points out, are literally dying out. Every Forsaken lost does not get replenished. And they cannot procreate. So yeah, sure. But as we've already discussed, they don't ask for consent. They just bring you back up as a corpse, and you just kind of get to live with it. So anyways, welcome to the beginning of the war against Gilneans. Now, you might be like, wait. We already did the Gilneans zone. We already saw how the Forsaken just kind of rolled over that zone. Yeah, well, we kind of did conquer Gilneans, but as the Forsaken, but then they sort of, you know, pushed us out. So the Gilneans Liberation Front successfully pushed the Forsaken as a general out of most of the territories they had actually claimed. They didn't, Mind Blast. So that should answer your question. Again, I'm fully on board with Sylvanas if they ask permission. And the really funny part is, based on how this works, they should be able to do so. This is a new character, Jedi Mew. We know they can do that because they've actually done that already with Sylvanas. They basically asked permission to bring Sylvanas back, remember? Now, that was a resurrection, not actually returning from the undead, but it's theoretically possible for them to do so on an individual basis. However, I kind of get it. If you remember, they mentioned how they were resurrecting literally dozens of people every day, like a couple hundred people every day. There's no way they're going to keep up that rate of resurrection of corpses if they go through each one. Oh, excuse me, do you want to be resurrected? But seriously, why didn't they just ask? It's not even that hard. So I wanted to share something else here before I went on.
What now?
So this guy, he calls you whatever your name is, and then they add noob to the end of it, right? Who exactly with what did they get up corpses up to become Forsaken? To make this very clear, Mind Blast, they didn't. There were no new Forsaken at all, in any way, shape, or form, between Warcraft 3, or Frozen Throne more specifically, and Cataclysm. So, my friend and I got to that quest, and we were like, oh man, that's really funny. Because he always calls you Nub. So, we started characters whose entire purpose was, whose names were to be a play on that particular joke. So, he always says noob, right? So, we got Nubbly Nubbly Noob, and then Shapely Nubbly Noob, and then Bubbly Nubbly Noob, and then Healy Nubbly. And it just became this big thing. So me and several other people in the guild, that I think I'm still in on this thing actually, all started making our characters the Bubblies and the Nubblies and the Gugglies and the Jugglies, all with the Nubblies. And so we'd all be the noobs when we went and did Silverpine. I just felt like sharing that. Whoops, wrong server. Okay.
I'm listening.
The battle over this region still rages. Doubly nubbly. Shubbly nubbly bubbly doubly. Although we soundly beat back the Gilnean defenses and took Gilneans for the Horde, a small group of rebels managed to escape. The Gilneans Liberation Front, as they call themselves, make attacks of opportunity against our forces in the field. The rebels have had a few minor victories and now grow brazen in their assaults. The time to strike back is now, to spy a noob. Venture south, kill the rebels, yes! Death to the Worgen. Gilneans must die for their arrogance. Arrogance worse than evil. Hey look, it's a high apothecary. Why are you a thing?
I am forsaken.
If we're gonna get this new blight up and running, we need clean beast guts. Problem is, clean beast guts are a rare commodity in the forest. Gee, maybe if you stopped spreading blight in your own territory, you wouldn't have that much of a problem getting it.
Our time will come.
I am forsaken.
Ah, you have no doubt heard about the incident that transpired at the Wrathgate, yes. Due to those unfortunate events, we are strictly forbidden from using this particular strain of life-shattering blight that we had finally perfected. Now we have rules and regulations and all other nonsense. They've given us some neutered version of the perfected blight and expect us to weaponize it. Ugh! If I'm to get this crap functional, I'll need several bags of doomweed. Oh, we're finally getting doomweed. Okay. Hey, love Disney. Well, I just woke up fairly recently, so I'm still kind of bleh. But I'm surviving for the moment. Give me another week or so. Death to the Gilneans. Death to the Gilneans. I spit on your corpse, you Worgen scum. Together we will create a new era of death to the Worgen. Now I know what you're thinking. Hang on. Arsh. You actually went out of your way to tell me that there weren't that many, relatively, percentage-wise, not that many Gilneans were Worgen. And that's true. I also mentioned, if you were paying attention, that most of the Gilneans we encounter are not civilian Gilneans. So, the majority of Gilneans we encounter are the ones who undertook the curse. In some cases, willingly. But all I'm trying to say here is that this is actually a plot point, not a plot hole. So Silverpine back in vanilla was okay. There were a couple of bottleneck quests where you had to go and get insert X of item, and it had a low drop rate, and it was annoying. Just like all vanilla quests like that were. But Silverpine is, in my opinion, one of the better changed zones. Overall, it's not like the best, it's not like South Barrens, but it's still really good. They did some good stuff here. I really like what they did with Silverpine. Across the way there, that's Fenris Isle, which was not actually always called that. Hey, Janine. Excuse me. Janine. Yeah. Hi. What do you think about Silverpine, Janine? From the perspective of vanilla. Why are they spreading blight around here? Why would they do that? That really doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm one of the more tolerant people of the overall Forsaken military machine. And yet, it's like, I mean, this isn't quite Malik levels, but it's getting there, It's like, alright, we have conquered this land. Excellent. Now let's pestilence. Why do I have... I'm sprouting flowers where I walk. Yes, we shall restore this land. It shall be a verdant paradise when I'm done with it. Oh, it's done now. That just totally killed my train of thought. Anyways, I just realized another reason why the Gilneans piss me off so much. Yeah, I agree with you, by the way, Janine. You ready for this, guys? Most of the time, when some big, arrogant power gets smacked upside the head with reality, they wake up a bit from it. There's that moment of humility. At absolutely no point in time have I seen the Gilneans really demonstrate that kind of humility. If anything, they continue to be just as proud and arrogant as they were before. Oh, no, we're amazingly perfect. You lost. Accept that, acknowledge that, move on from it, Instead of just, oh, no, it's only a matter of time until we take Gilneas back. And once we do, oh, by golly, Gilnean products are still the best products in the land, and Gilnean forces are still the best forces in the land. So I think that's the final reason why I just get really pissed off at Gilneans. I'm not saying they should all die, because I'm not so one, but, yeah. I have to admit, I am actually kind of amused here. All these Gilnean forces, all these Worgen, they have full armor on, and they aren't wielding any weapons. Remember how we were talking about how weird it is that as a Worgen player you have to wield a weapon? These guys don't. Hey, look, there's the latest batch of recruits. Bye, recruits. See you on the front. Well, I'm sure Gilneas will eventually be taken back by Gilneans, but I'm not sure how that would involve egg being on my face, because they're just arrogant, prissy little insert explicatives. If I wasn't a completely arrogant dick about it, I'd like to think I would, but then again, if I was a completely arrogant dick, then I wouldn't know, would I, with Slates?
What would you ask of
Remember,
death?
I only use clean beast gusts for the new strain we're developing. With this and Doomweed, we'll be able to test our new strain of blight.
Beware, our enemies.
I can't wait to blight all of Gilneas. Let them have it back. They can have their rotted wasteland. Agony abounds, friend. The land itself threatens to devour us, and yet we persist. I wonder why that is. With this Doomweed and the guts and gore that Tveen needs, we might have something suitable to send to the Forsaken Front.
Trust no one.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Gilneans have always been dicks. So it's going back all the way to Warcraft 2.
What will you require?
Hey, Sonic. Actually, I have a lot of answers to that question. Although, it's not really something I've debated heavily. Because, But, there are several other countries I would like to live in instead of the States. The concoction is finally ready. But before I could put my seal of approval on this strain, we need to run a field test. Speak to the bat handler and requisition a bat. Use the concoction against the Murlocs.
Beware,
okay.
living.
I'm okay with that, I guess. I do like the new music in Silverpine, too. This place used to be not creepy so much as boring, in my opinion. Like, the song here was really dull, and a lot of the quests kind of dragged on, so you're just walking through this long zone with only a couple of flight paths and no mount, and you're hearing this dum, 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 and that's the music for the zone. So it got a little draggy back in vanilla.
This had better be good.
Despire Noob has returned, and in one piece. Defender of Silverpine, Redeemer of the Horde. Your bravery must be rewarded.
Dark Lady, watch over
Well,
you.
thanks. I'm gonna go bomb some Murlocs. Okay, bye.
This had better be good.
You better bring that bat in one piece. Okay. Death to the Worgen! Oh, I know, Janine. Ugh. It's like, alright, go to here, go do a couple quests here, then go do that little farm quest with the one named dude. Then go all the way up here to do the spider quests. And then go all the way down here to do the Lorerun quest. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Just think of what that army of Murlocs could do if they united. I do. Sure. That is, you're absolutely right, Janine. Especially in the 40s. Oh my goodness. Let's just start carpet bombing them, shall we? Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. My God, there's Worgen on Fenris Isle. Yeah, the 40s. Oh my God. Are you talking about the Outland one, Lily? Otherwise, I do not know what you're talking about. Right, heirloom gear.
Yes?
Potent enough to exterminate 1,000 Murlocs. I think I'll put that on the label. You've done well, Despire. Great work around here gets rewarded.
Dark Lady watch over you.
Talents! Yay! What do we got? What do we got? I think that's the one I like to use. Yeah, we'll do that one. We'll start leeching people's souls. Is everyone okay with that? Oh, you're talking about the Mongrel Horde. Yes, I've actually talked about the Mongrel Horde a couple of times, yeah. I still like the idea, although I see why they didn't do it for a whole expansion. Excuse me.
I'm listening.
Do you know why Mortis appended noob to your name? Because he's an incompetent sycophant that has trouble seeing through his oversized helmet. Noob is your classification. You are part of the new Undercity Battalion. But enough with the comedy. I sent Deathstalker York on a shadow operation 2 days ago. Our goal was to get information on the Gilneans Liberation Front and return. 3 days and no word. Head southwest to Ivar Patch. Look for her. Despire.
Remember, patience.
Despire news. So yeah, of all the people that could take over for the Forsaken, I hope it's not this guy because he's an incompetent boob. As previously discussed. You know, the sad thing is I already talked about the political ramifications and realities of the Forsaken assault on Gilneas and why it's understandable, why the Forsaken would do that, and a few other things about that, yeah. I do find myself honestly curious what would have happened if the Forsaken had not invaded Gilneas. Because, I mean, at the first thing you'd be like, well, okay, so nothing happens, right? Well, I mean, think about it for a moment. They would have stayed locked behind their wall as they slowly got converted into Worgen bit by bit. And then the Cataclysm would have hit, just like it did, because it had nothing to do with the invasion. And then it's like, and so they're losing their land and losing the Worgen. I wonder if they would have finally decided to, bring down the wall, so to speak, and leave their borders, or finally try to reach out to other nations, or if they would just stubbornly stay behind the wall until they slowly died out. I'm not actually sure. It's just food for thought. Belmont gets a little nervous and sends some newbie to look for me. Listen, I've been staking out the old Ivar cottage from inside this outhouse for 3 days. Your presence undermines the entire operation. There's no time to explain. We have to act or this mission will be compromised. The Gilneas Liberation Front leader, Darius Crowley, oh, there's a name I recognize, has been meeting with another Worgen in this cottage for the past 3 days. I'm not sure what's going on, but we need to get a picture inside the cottage and find a good hiding place from where we can eavesdrop. It's now or never. Promise if I don't make it, he'll return to High Command. Oh, great, he's gonna die. Don't die! We haven't much time. Crowley will be arriving shortly. Let's go! Also, at the moment, they can't res orcs, so they can't do that, Slates. There. Hide in the armoire. Hello, Darius. Have you given any more thought to my proposal, Ivar? I trust you now, Crowley. You abandoned us, left us to die! If we're to win this war, we'll need your help. Our packs must unite. The Forsaken will destroy us otherwise. You're the alpha male, Ivar. The rest of the Ferals and Silverpine will do as you command. I don't care about your war, Crowley. But I've seen firsthand what the Forsaken are capable of doing. It is true, they hunt us, slaughter the You're a worgen. There's no such thing as a defenseless worgen. So, will you help? I'll gather my pack. It would appear we're being watched, Crowley. You've grown soft. Probably Greymane's fault. Treacherous little pup. Well, crap. What say you now, spy? I live and die for the Banshee Queen. I was hoping you'd say that. I'll prepare the pack. It'll take some time to gather them all. We'll join. For now. So the politics here... sorry, Yorick. What the hell? What the crap? Hang on. My escape key has randomly stopped functioning. Literally, I can't. Nothing's happening at all. It's working outside of WoW. It's just... huh. Hang on. It's just... yeah. I just realized I'm an idiot too. God. So for those of you not aware, I woke up about at 9, or no. I basically woke up about 10 minutes before I started streaming. Because tired. So I actually forgot to do something. Because I'm an idiot. Slept in too late. She was just a soldier doing her duty, Zawan. It's a respect thing. Also, she wasn't killed by a Gilnean. Not really. She was killed by a wild beast. Anyways, escape key's working. Yay, thank God. Actually, we've prayed for all of them, Zuan. But those were nameless soldiers, they didn't matter. Ah, alas, poor Yorick. I knew her despair, an assassin of infinite courage. Now tell me what's going on. What did you discover? Deliver this report to Lady Sylvanas. It is an assessment of the situation in Silverpine, based on Yorick's feared lyric. If we do not stamp out the Worgen insurgents, they will overrun us. The time to act is now.
Goodbye.
We are the Forsaken.
Kneel.
We will slaughter anyone who stands in our way.
You don't like the quesalupa, Jay? Kneel before your queen, Despire. No. Crowley. A gnat. An insect waiting to be crushed beneath my boot heel. So he thinks to rouse the feral Worgen of Silverpine? We will show him and his allies the might of the Forsaken. But first we must clean up the mess made by the war chief's fleet. Without their aid, we may lose the war. Our reinforcements from Kalimdor arrived last night. 3 orc gunships full of supplies, weapons, and soldiers. 3 gunships lost to Bloodfang's Worgen. How can an entire orc fleet lose to a small band of enemy combatants that lack any siege weaponry? An important question you will answer for me. Gather your gear and report to the Orc Admiral Hatchet at the Forsaken Rearguard. Get those orcs operational, Despire. Yeah, no kidding, Zuan. It's all pointless. Futile. Seriously, that was kind of messed up. Have we not? We haven't dinged yet. How have we not dinged? Are these gray? No, they should still be in the green line. And, yeah, these are yellow quests at this point. Weird. Although, I don't have a necklace on. I should get a necklace on. Necklace. No, that's a trinket. Do I not have a... I don't have a caster necklace. No, I can make that happen. Oh... I have to admit, I like the violet lanterns they've got going on here. Probably Zorn. I'm glad you like it, Jake. Alright, Admiral Hatchet.
Lukta.
Fiasco may go down as one of the biggest embarrassments in the history of naval warfare. How did this happen? Drunk happened. That's how. We may not have to live down the shame of this defeat. The war chief will likely have us all executed instead. I'll be damned if we don't go down without a fight. Although the whole beachhead is overrun with Bloodfang Worgen. There may still be hope. I want you to accompany one of our sea pups to the beachhead, directly west of here, and recover our supplies.
Go forth to victory.
We're going to, Captain. Because I am Yoda.
Because I can't do the peon noise.
McGraw.
It's the goblins' fault, undead. You see, we set off from Silverpine, from Bilgewater over in Ashara. Huge mistake that was. Never had such a den of iniquity and sin exist in our great empire. Those damnable goblins fueled our every vice and set us off to sail with barrels full of ale. Shame of it all leaves a mark greater than any scar. Honor must be restored. Kill the Bloodfang.
May your
It's
blades
their
never
fault
dull.
we are terrible people, apparently.
What now?
Have you seen the huge lumbering hens roaming the forests? Cursed things came from Gilneans. Now they wander the land, searching for the next juicy meal. We've managed to subjugate and utilize some of them to haul our wagons, but the others, well, they must all be killed. Unfortunately, we can't spare the soldiers. That's where you come in. I have a plan, but it's going to require some materials. Head out and collect some diseased organs. Oh, well, diseased organs are everywhere, thanks to what you've been doing, you frickin' morons. Oh, should I use the Infernal or the Abyssal? What do you guys think? And hi, Vanessa, and hi, Magister. Time to kill Worgen scum. It's okay, we're not killing Gilneans, so that makes it okay. So as I was starting to say earlier, before my escape key stopped working, the Worgen politics of this area are actually kind of funny to me. Because basically we have the Gilnean Worgens, who are unified underneath Crowley, attempting to push back against the Forsaken invasion. Okay, I'm totally with that. Then we have the Bloodfang, who are the organized feral Worgen, who have been here for years and years. Oh, by the way, just not so bad. Maybe a little heavy, but it's okay. And then I give him another one. Maybe Captain carry one box, too? No, I think you should carry all the boxes. Here, have another one, kiddo. Just giving me hernia. Captain, what hernia? Please, Captain, can I put box down? Please. Oh, please kill me. Ah, you're fine. So, there's basically three factions of Worgens here. There's the truly feral Worgen, who are diminishing as a power significantly. There's the Bloodfang. Now, the Bloodfang are the ex-Shadowfang. Well, wolves can still be intelligent despite being, you know, feral or whatever. Regardless, there's the random feral Worgen who aren't organized and have no actual coordination with each other. Again, those are very much in the minority at this point in time. Then there's the old Worgen from Shadowfang Keep, and the last time the curse swept through here, who have been around here for years and years, and at this point have started to... No, he's fine, look. See? They're fine. It's fine. Physics. Those Worgen have been here and have slowly started to regain some semblance of intellect and communicative abilities, and all follow Ivar from, you know, Shadowfang Keep. And he's pretty much the one who is kind of in charge of Silverpine and has been for some time. Now that the Forsaken are coming through here in force, he's basically losing territory to them, and as the Forsaken are trying to hunt them down, since the Forsaken don't really acknowledge overall the fact that there's different factions of Worgen, so they just assume they're more Gilneans. And then, of course, there's the Gilneans, which, I already talked about those are the easiest to understand. It's funny to me because this is, I think, the 57th version of this thing happening, where we are creating our own enemies here, because if we didn't push back against the ferals so bad, if we tried to reach out to them and ally with them and use them as, you know, as a, I don't know, a military alliance or something with them, there's a chance that we would have actually, at the very least, been able to make a treaty of non-aggression with them, as opposed to literally driving them into the hands of the Gilneans. Because as you saw during the earlier discussion, the only reason that the Bloodfang pack and the organized ex-Worgens
Something you doing?
are so willing to join with the... they're not willing. They don't want to join with the Gilneans at all. However, they are willing to do so because of the Forsaken. So that's the 5 trillionth, I think, example of bad tactical prowess on behalf of the Forsaken. Telling you, if I was just in charge of the Forsaken, we would have won already. We would have done it without the blight because I actually want to have lands that I have conquered, not lands that I have destroyed. You'd think that wouldn't be a hard thing to understand. Alright, what do you think? Should we let this poor, Wait, nobody answered earlier. Scroll up, scroll up. Yeah, nobody answered. Should we have the Abyssal or the Infernal out? What do you guys think? Someone has to have an opinion on that question. Except for you guys on YouTube. Yes, you. I'm watching you. I didn't actually see an answer from you, Janine. So, whoops. This is what an Abyssal looks like. It's this guy right here. Right here, I'll just go ahead and summon him right now. There we go. So this is an Abyssal. If you've ever done Black Temple, you might recognize him. The Infernal, which is a exceptionally rare pet that I'm rather proud to have gotten, looks like that guy. He's actually bigger, too. If you use the Make Pets Bigger item on him, he's actually larger than a player. In fact, he's almost my size as is. Look at this. But I'm seeing lots of people saying Infernal, so we'll wander around with an Infernal. Infernals are kind of iconic of Warlocks at this point. In fact, if I might diverge for just a second, do you remember when WoW Vanilla was coming out, and there was this big, like, thing about how they showed off the different classes, right? The Hunter had his pet, and the Warrior had the big old Tauren tree totem thing, and the Mage had Frost Nova, and, you know, all that fun stuff. You remember that? Well, a lot of players were actually upset because they said that was misrepresentative, because it was. It totally freaking was. Because there's two things that were wrong about that trailer. Number one, they showed the Warlock just wandering around with multiple Infernals. But still, that was like the big thing. The Forsaken Warlock there's like, and then this massive Infernal shows up behind him. We didn't have Infernals in Vanilla at retail. They patched that in later. Furthermore, everyone was like, oh, dude, I'm going to play Tauren with the giant totem thing. That's awesome. And nope, we still can't use totems as of this date, 11 years later. But yeah, so several people, including myself, made a Warlock specifically because we wanted to use an Infernal. Now, nowadays, we can finally summon an Infernal. In properly, I should say. Back in Vanilla, there's this whole quest and this whole mess you had to go through, and you'd summon it, and then you had to immediately bind it, and it was this hassle and a half. It was only worth it on very specific fights. Nowadays, at level 49, we get a 10-minute cooldown that summons an Infernal, and the Infernal just beats the crap out of everything. It's basically the AoE pet. You also get the Doomguard at 58 now, which is the single target cooldown pet. Yeah, there it is, right there. You see that talent? That actually enables us to literally just have an Infernal or a Doomguard as a permanent pet now, which is actually pretty freaking awesome. But anyways, moving on. Just wanted to talk about that briefly because we had the Infernal right there. Actually, hang on. Pull you out here. Actually, we'll put you over there. Okay, so you can finally put those boxes down.
What do you need?
Greetings.
With these crates. Within these crates are held steel thunder. With our weapons returned, we might have a chance to redeem ourselves.
May your blades never dull.
Where to put the falling hell?
Loktar.
Looks as if you gave those Worgans a beating in the process. A lifting the shame haze they cast over us. Maybe the sea dogs will quit drinking now. Who am I kidding?
Go forth to victory.
Hang on.
Be safe.
No, he's fine. He's fine. Ignore the blood.
What is it?
We are forsaken. This is how we do it, Warlock. Excellent. Now to prepare the meal. Take this cage. I've placed inside it one of my own mutant bush chickens, which looks like that, which is kind of terrifying. with a slight few modifications. Within the butt of this chicken is a stick of dynamite laced with gunk from the diseased organs you brought me. Take the cage out and locate the wandering forest Ettin. Release the chicken and see it back as my masterwork does its job. The ensuing explosion should be sufficient to kill the Ettin or greatly weaken it.
Remember, patience.
Good morning, call me Fives. Yeah, Felguard.
Strength and honor.
Some would say we are lucky to be alive. Those people would be idiots! At least if we had died, we would not have to face the war chief's wrath. Alas, what's done is done. Now we must attempt to regain our lost honor. The third ship in our fleet sank off the coast of the skittering dock, northwest of here. Those that made it to the shore quickly found themselves swarmed by giant spiders encased in their webbing. If there are survivors, go free them!
Fight well, friend.
Throw ho!
Vengeance is all-consuming to Spire. Our third ship sank off the coast of the skittering dock, northwest of here. The men that made it off the boat were either captured or killed by the spiders. For that, the spiders must die! All of them! Travel to the skittering dock and crush those insects, and be on the lookout for their matriarch. Perhaps if we find her, we can end this menace forever!
Strength.
But first, I'm going to take a picture along with a whole bunch of really drunk orcs. Hey guys. Drunk orcs. Farewell, Janine. That is him. Holy crap, Spirit. Hi. I thought you died. No, I'm kidding. I thought you just stopped watching me. I was actually just thinking about you the other day. Seriously, I was in SDO and I was like, you know, I haven't seen Spirit in a really long time. What is up, sir? Is close enough? Oh, here we go. Go! Ooh, tasty chicken. Did you see its legs dangling from within? Down you go. Goodbye. Because those people haven't set a color, Jay. So it just picks randomly based on whichever program is showing the chat. I haven't actually gone through Delta Rising yet, still, on SDO. But I have been pushing my diplomacy so I could finally port to Deep Space Nine. And I've been pushing my crafting a lot lately.
Speak quickly.
Was there any doubt? And Ettin is no match for science! Hey, look. Bear steaks.
Dark Lady.
I don't think I want to eat those. If that's okay with you. Yeah. Aha! It all makes sense, Spirit. I hope your studies are going well. If I could rewrite a lore character's arc, but I can't do Madon. Star Trek Online, Magister, one of the other MMOs that I think is good in the modern era. Of which there are not many. I mean, there are a few. I guess that's being disingenuous. There are a couple of decent MMOs in the modern era. I might be tempted to rewrite Tyronda's story arc to give her one. I mean, the thing with Tyranda is she has... So, if you've paid attention to my show at all, you know I mentioned the 5 points of story, right? 5 points of story, 5 points of gameplay. Oh, cool, Spirit. Congrats. Of the 5 points of story, you'll notice that characterization and character growth are listed separately. The difference between these two is characterization is how much a character is characterized. For example, Borderlands actually has a lot of characterization, but almost no character growth, because everyone just stays the same as they are from beginning to end. By contrast, a show like, say, Deep Space Nine had a decent amount of characterization, but a huge amount of character growth. I know that's a weird parallel, but you get the idea. So I mention this because Tyranda has decent characterization and almost no character growth. She doesn't really change or move or evolve at all over the course of the entire series, really. So, yeah. I would be tempted with Tyranda just to give her a character arc, rather than having her sit here and be the warmonger from beginning to end, you know. Thank you, friend. Let's kill some overgrown spiders. That sounded better in my head. We gotta find the matriarch of this operation and end her. I can't do peon voice. I used to be able to. I'm so sad now. The other temptations that come to mind immediately include Illidan and, admittedly, Kael'thas. Also, Vosh. And you'll notice a lot of those are related to BC and the Alzheimer's problem, so... The Skitterweb matriarch is nearby. You must put an end to the Skitterweb menace by killing her. Anyway, Spirit, I actually haven't had time to actually play anything, really, that wasn't for the show, so... sometime next June, I'm thinking. Unless I finally do that STO Lorerun that WKC asked for. I'm a little surprised they didn't do more with Valera, excuse me. But then again, excuse me, they haven't done much with most of the comic characters. If you've noticed, Valera's really hasn't done much. The druid, whose name I can't think of, hasn't really done much. Like, they've done a few things, and then they just kind of are like, yep, they're over there now. Just think, Spirit, by the time I finally get around to playing the game, I will be like 3 expansions behind, and have tons of content to do. And some soup. Oh, nope, that's the wrong thing. Back to sleep. Oh, hey, she's actually... Oh, God, that's creepy looking. Die, you creepy looking thing. Oh, hey, I got a stack. I didn't know I could even get stacks now. Well, then ask me, Jay. Ask of me. Like, you can basically ask any time. I prefer it if you ask when I'm not already talking about a subject, but I will still try to answer your questions. I don't always catch questions. I have a weird flaw in my mind. Sometimes I will literally not notice a question. Like, I'll read a question, and I'll lodge it in my head, and then it will just sit there as I keep going for, like, minutes. And then, like, minutes will pass, and then I'll be like, there's this question I never answered. Chkung! I'm sure some of you have seen me do that. I don't do it on purpose. It's just the way my brain works, you know. Now, Magister, at least she betrayed it for a good cause. Because Varian's pretty hot. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think he's just kind of cute. I hope so too, sure. I am hopeful, but we'll see. Where are my pets? Kill things! Oh, by the way, Spirit, if you're still there, I want to share something that you may find amusing. So, for those of you who don't play STO, they will occasionally do like an event where a quest will go live, and it's part of a new quest story arc, right? And if you do it while the event's live, you get extra rewards from doing so. So, I found out that there's this quest that's live. This is a couple weeks ago, I think, at this point. And I don't even remember what it's called. And we're looking at it, and I haven't even done the Delta Quadrant yet. So I'm barely on the point of I'm way, way behind on the story. And Pax, my good friend Pax, he has done parts of the Delta Quadrant. He hasn't fully caught up. But we both wanted to do the quest to get the one-time only rewards. So what we did is we just started it and just started mashing through the text as quickly as possible. Don't read anything. Don't read anything. Quick. Okay, just go to the next. Where's the next quest thing? Okay, go here. Okay, don't read anything. Okay, we're here. Okay, we finished the quest. Trying really hard not to spoil anything for ourselves, because I mean, it'd be like suddenly watching the first episode of season 3 of Babylon 5 while we're still on season 1.
Mokra.
Look, Tar Despire. Once the ale wears off, my orcs will be ready.
Strength.
Speak, friend.
Hey, I'm friendly with Orgrimmar. You rescued our orcs and killed the Skitterweb matriarch. Well, we owe you a great debt of gratitude. You've saved us all from certain execution. I'm sure we can rouse these drunken idiots now.
For the Horde.
Strength and honor.
She hands you an envelope marked with the mark of the Horde. This is your commendation letter. It's the least I could give you under the circumstances. Return to Lady Sylvanas with the letter and inform her of our status. Let her know we are ready to march on her command. Goodbye, Despire. You are an excellent soldier.
Go with honor.
Sealed with the mark of the Horde. Let's sell really quick first.
Speak, friend.
Oh, ESO, right. So this is a great example. Someone earlier asked me about ESO, and I just now... I'm just dislodging the question now. Okay. ESO is, at best, lackluster, in my opinion. It is definitely not something that ever should have been made. I firmly think that its creation was a mistake.
May
Firmly.
never dull.
Never's the one. I hate that mount. I hate that mount so much. You know what? No.
And
I rebel against the mount. I will say that it has gotten better. Absolutely. I will give credit where credit is due. The game has become much more tolerable and much better polished since it came out. When it came out, it was junk. It was not the worst MMO I've ever played. I've played bad MMOs in my days. But it was bad when it first came out. It was almost to the point of unpleasantly blech when it first came out. But it has gotten better than that since then. But it is still a game that should not exist, in my opinion.
What joy is there in this curse?
And the orcs? Orcs are in order. Recovering their supplies, killing a dozen Worgen, toppling an Etten, freeing their soldiers, and destroying the Skitterweb matriarch. I say this rarely, Despire, but I am impressed. Perhaps your ability matches your aspirations. We shall see, for now you will be tested.
I have no time for games.
Fenris Isle stands defiant at the heart of Lordamere Lake, a cruel memory of a long time long since past. Although no longer infested by gnoll vermin, a new threat has emerged. Human refugees driven from their holdings in Hillsbrad have fled to Fenris Isle in hopes of escaping defeat at our hands, a critical error on their part. You are to take Agatha with you to the Isle and slaughter the humans. She will raise the fallen as forsaken. Wow, that's kind of horrible. We're going after the people who are desperately trying to get away from us and killing them to make them join us. Okay, sure, I'm with it. There it is. Fine, I'll use this stupid... Freaking hate this mount. You know what, here. We'll solve the problem by turning off the sound. Anyways, so... to the breach. I don't even know what that is. Yes, I do, and I can go and explain what I feel the biggest problem with ESO is in very, very simple terms. A cooperative multiplayer Elder Scrolls game is something I and others have been wanting since Morrowind. It's something that we have been clamoring for, and after Skyrim and a few things they did with Skyrim, it looked like they were finally taking those steps into actually making a co-op Elder Scrolls game. Yay! Then they gave us an MMO. No. An MMO is really a completely different animal than a cooperative, co-op 2-player or 3-player, whatever RPG like we wanted. And so what we got with ESO was Elder Scrolls Light. Like, it was still pretending to be an Elder Scrolls game, but it really wasn't at the same time, you know? It was just failing. Hey look, Hillsbrad refugees. I wonder what they were fleeing from. Up you get. I can't even loot them because they immediately get right back up as a new trooper. Oh, I long for the frozen wastes of Northrend. Well, sorry, lady, but you serve the Forsaken now. You could have stayed up there and just been a prisoner for the rest of your life. One nice touch is these guys are actually getting buffed by us bringing their troops back. I don't think there's a specific reason behind it, Bitmonk, but I do know there is some kind of parallel between light-wielding valkyr and void-wielding valkyr. I don't know specifics, though. I'm hopeful we'll learn more in Legion when we start to learn more about the valkyr in general. Hey, Takoida. So while we're doing this, really quick, same master, different master, same insatiable thirst for power. I have to actually disagree with that. Sylvanas does not thirst for power. She thirsts for survival. Now that requires power, but it's a little different than what the Lich King was doing. Unless she's referring to Odin, in which case... Anywho, so... back in the day... Oh, that sucks, Spirit. Hope it goes well for you. Back in the day, there was actually an entire plot arc going through the entirety of the Silverpine area and Tearsfall. Basically, those gnolls we encountered, the Rawhide, were actually part of a unified undead force. Oh my god, that had been put together by a particularly ambitious necromancer who wasn't actually a part of the Scourge. He was just a necromancer who was trying to prove himself to the Scourge. And he basically made, and I know you're tired of me hearing this, he basically made a little mongrel horde situation. He got the Murlocs, he got the Gnolls, he got some Worgen, and I feel like he got a few humans in there too. And he just diseased and plagued them with this very, very primitive form of undeath, or undead rotting thing. It wasn't actually any real undead. It was just like making them more rotting to make them seem like they were undead because he wasn't that good of a necromancer. And he was doing, and it was like the whole plot arc through these two zones was dealing with that guy. You wouldn't know it, though, from the way the quests were presented. Anyways, the final quest was actually here on Fenris Isle, where he had his focus of power with his Gnoll army. Anyways, I see everything, Despire. Through Agatha, all is known to me. The humans will fare better in the afterlife as Forsaken. You must strike at their leaders, Despire. You will find them holed up on the second floor. Battle your way inside and find... What the... Turn them in for your queen. Blah, 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 blah. But first, I want to get a picture with a valkyr. Valkyr. No, where'd she go? There she is. Okay, valkyr. Come on, do the creepy grin. Do the creepy grin. There we go. Okay. Merciless, I have tried the fishing extravaganza a few times. I have failed it 100% of the times. It sucks, and I hate it. We haven't even gotten to Hillsbrad yet, Zoan. Come on, man. Interesting, Takoida. I'll have to glance at that if I ever have spare time. You don't want to know, Last Echo. Seriously, just don't even... Just don't think about it. Don't think about it. Hello, King Goldar. I always have a fondness for Brewfest. Mostly because I like the idea, the concept, and where's my Valkyr? Oh god, I'm about to... Where is my pet and my Valkyr? Where's my Valkyr? What are you fighting? Come here, Agatha. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you could tell, but I'm growing horns and becoming infused with fel energy. It's because my demonic fury is filling up. I know what you're thinking. Whoa, whoa. The Forsaken have broken through your defenses, Magistrate. You are out of time. A decision must be made. Die in battle and be raised as a servant of the Forsaken, or drink in my blood and be reborn as Worgen, immune to the depravity of the Forsaken. Help us destroy the Forsaken and retake Lorderun for the Alliance! We would rather die than be turned into Worgen, but seeing as how even death provides no relief from the atrocities of this wall, we choose vengeance! Drink, drink, drink. Run. Run! Ah, crap. Ah, crap. Ah, get me out of here. Actually, I think the cutscene just screwed up a bit. Actually, yeah, I think the cutscene did just screw up again. We're going to try and fix that really quick. Yeah, it didn't. What the hell? Well, any transference of blood will transfer the blood curse, so theoretically, yeah. Well, whatever. She's supposed to actually carry us all the way out of here. And as we go fleeing. Instead, we'll have to motorcycle our way to safety. Do you feel it, Despire? The darkness that surrounds us. Did she really, Monkey? Wow. Yeah, so she's actually supposed to literally carry us all the way back to Sylvanas up here. Out of the area and across the lake here. I don't know. I don't think we're doing that many atrocious things here, Jay, personally. Ah, but it's home. We must retake our home for Lorderun. Even though the Undercity is a thing. By the way, to clarify one quick thing, some people think the Forsaken built the Undercity. That is actually not true. Death Knight Arthas built the Undercity. Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, Death Knight Arthas built the Forsaken. Or built the Undercity. He technically built the Forsaken, too. The Forsaken just moved in and was like, oh, this is a cozy-looking place.
What are we, if not slaves to this torment?
It would seem that Crowley is more formidable than I anticipated. Still, he is a man, flesh and bone, full of secrets. Secrets I know about. You have served me well, Despire. I can use some of your ability at the Sepulchre. I have a plan to deal with Crowley and his insurgents once for all. Will you help? Ride with me to the Sepulchre. There are many things I wish to discuss with you. It is imperative you understand the history of Lorerun and the plight of the Forsaken.
I have not always been the Banshee Queen, and my people have not always been the Forsaken. Long ago, this land comprised the northern kingdoms of Lordaeron, ruled by King Taranis Menethil. Taranis had a son named Arthas. Arthas. Even saying his name makes my body quiver in rage. This man-child, Arthas, took for himself a cursed blade known as Frostmourne. Through Frostmourne, Arthas killed his own father and raised this land along with every living creature in it. My own death came at the hands of Arthas, when he and his armies sacked my homeland, Quel'Thalas, and murdered my people. In his vast cruelty, Arthas severed my spirit from my body and raised me as a banshee to serve in his Scourge army. A similar fate befell all that would die to the Scourge war machine. In death, they were reborn as mindless undead, but Arthas was not invincible. With each passing day his power waned, his grip over the will of the damned loosening. It was when Arthas was at his weakest that I struck. And though the hour of his atonement had come, the worm managed to escape his fate, returning to the frozen wastes of Northrend. With Arthas gone, so too was the control he held over the undead masses of Lordaeron. After recovering my body, I freed the remaining Scourge that were left behind.
She left the pine...
From the cruelty and mercilessness of Arthas, the man who would be Lich King, the Forsaken, were born. Our goal, our sole purpose, was to destroy the Lich King. We threw our lot in with the Horde, and began our journey towards redemption. Now, the Lich King is dead, and we have returned. The people who called this land their home in life do so in death as well. But the Alliance does not recognize our rights. They claim this land as their own, while attempting to invalidate the claims of the founders of this kingdom. I will never allow it. Never! Lordaeron belongs to the Forsaken. Always and forever.
Ahem. She left out the part about how Kel'Thuzad was the one who saved Arthas in that particular incident. And the whole Veramothras thing, and a couple of other things, too. I also did like how she was just randomly shooting Worgen as she went by, chatting. Not even breaking her stride, just... Now, what she just discussed, though, is actually fairly valid. See, there is a little bit of gray here. This is not truly a black and white situation, as per usual of Warcraft. Because the funny thing is, her statement is absolutely true. The Forsaken were, not Sylvanas, the Forsaken were moving towards redemption up until the Lich King's destruction. I talked about that. back in vanilla, other than the apothecary quests, most Forsaken quests were about how damned and hunted and hated they were, and about how everyone else was just constantly trying to kill them, and they were trying to do what they could to make a new life for themselves, right? Now, this is another interesting thing, and for the umpteenth billionth time, and I quote, "The Alliance does not recognize our rights." See, the thing is, what I've kind of haven't really mentioned so far in all of this, is that the Alliance has been regularly trying to push north into Lorerun to retake Lorerun from the Forsaken. And that's probably the single biggest thing that really drove the Forsaken into the war south. Once again, the Alliance kind of causes the Horde, and that's not even a thing that this is the end of. We're going to see more examples of that in the future. Cough, cough, Blood Elves. Do note, I am not condoning Sylvanas' mindset. We've already discussed her mindset. As someone points out, she is only interested in her own survival. She is driven by terror at this point in time. That's her thing. She's just like... But the Forsaken as a whole, I still do have a degree of sympathy for. I wouldn't say the bulk of the Alliance, but there actually have been Alliance pushes north, yes. I forget the exact locations of the battles, but there were several that were being pushed by through South Shore, for example, and through the Western Plaguelands, trying to attack and reclaim Lorerun for the Alliance and all that fun stuff. But anyways,
What joy is there in this curse?
although it has been debated for some time if the Scarlet Crusade was funded by Stormwind, thanks to the guy in... there's a Scarlet Crusader still in Stormwind right now. I don't know if that's true. That's just wild speculation at this point. It depends on the individual thing, Jay. For example, nothing Warcraft has ever made me do has ever made me go, okay, that's a line, I'm not going over it. And you know why? Because it's Warcraft. As I've said before, Warcraft is an extremely romanticized viewpoint on this type of situation, on war. Real war is disgusting and horrible and terrible. I mean, just really, really horrible. Words I have to give you cannot explain how bad war is in real life. In this game, war is war, glory, death, you know. It's romanticized, right? So, for example, there's no point in time I'm in this game that I've ever been asked to, just to use a random example, take someone that I have become very close friends with and have built a bond of friendship and fellowship with, and then order their best friend to murder them. I have never been asked to grab a child and coerce them through lies and deceit into thinking they're going to some magical place and then snapping a slave collar on their necks. That kind of stuff doesn't exist in Warcraft. And I like that. Now, Garrosh, yeah, that was to say, they've moved more towards atrocities in the recent time, but most of those are still romanticized, still lighter, for lack of a better term to put it, you know? And a lot of that is because of the distance equation, which I've actually talked about before. As I mentioned before, the destruction of Theramore is the one thing everyone remembers. And yet, you know, as we're looking at the destruction of Theramore, you have to be reminded that most people only remember that because of the scale of the event. Garrosh has actually done worse things than that. And yeah. Anyways, moving on. Do you now understand the importance of our mission here? Crowley and his alliance dogs, must be stopped.
I have no time for games.
A convoy of veteran troopers and Forsaken catapults were ambushed earlier today while attempting to cross Olsen's Farthing, directly south of here. It was a total loss. All troopers killed and all catapults destroyed. Bloodfang's pack was responsible for the ambush, although likely they have all fled back into the hills, preparing their next cowardly strike. Their day will come, but for now, I want you to go and honor our fallen. Recover their Forsaken insignias. Here's an interesting question for you, Darker. How many actual survivors of Lorerun do you really think there are? Who are not undead, I mean, to clarify. See you around at Last Echo again. Also, one other thing I wanted to point out, actually, I was thinking about it during the ride there. Someone asked the other day why Sylvanas is so popular. I could point to the obvious reason why she's probably so popular. There you go. There's the obvious reason why she's probably so popular. But even ignoring that, and I am going to ignore that, I do feel there's another stronger reason why she's so popular. It's very, very simple. She is a good voice actress. We have seen time and time again a good actor or actress will basically sell an audience on a character who is otherwise deplorable. In fact, I got a perfect example for you. Gul Dukat in Deep Space Nine is played by Mark Alemo, who is an incredibly charismatic individual and a great actor at presenting that charisma. He has a lot of natural oomph to his presentation. And it made... Gul Dukat was originally written to be a completely by-the-books bureaucratic bastard. And yet, Mark Alemo's presentation of him made him surprisingly well enjoyed despite that. And so the writers kind of got to like the character, and so they started writing him a little more, that way. And then the audience liked him more, and so forth and so on. So the voice actress for Sylvanas is really, really good. And I feel like that's at least the biggest reason right there why she is so well liked, because she does a really good job with her lines. HK-47 is another great example of that, yes. Someone who, by all rights, you should just absolutely despise as a character. But his presentation is perfect. And admittedly, he's very well written, too. Uther was a paladin of the Knights of the Silver Hand. I make that point because they were a separate political organization. Well, okay, I'm sorry. Separate military organization that was politically attached to Lorerun, specifically. So, the Knights of the Silver Hand were specifically under the purview of the King of Lorerun. Yeah, exactly, Takoida. That's kind of my point. There really are not a lot of survivors of Lordaeron, like, at all. No, I don't think so, Jay. Then again, I usually don't play games like that. Well, Arthas was his student, but also his prince. So, militarily, Arthas was the subordinate. Politically, he was the superior, if that makes sense. Hey, Lonely. What was I saying? So, Darker, you're saying that we should displace the millions of Forsaken for the sake of the hundreds of Lordaeron people who don't even want to go back up there still. And I know what you're saying. Well, how do you know that? Because I've talked to Kalia Menethil. Yes, I know, Zawon. Although, in fairness, they're mostly doing that against the trolls, if you'll recall, not the dwarves there. I'm still not okay with it, but that's at least more understandable. Those that survived your assault on Fenris managed to drink the blood of the wolf. They turned into ferocious worgen, hell-bent on vengeance. Now they paddle across Lordamere Lake and assault my sea dogs. Many have already killed. The worgen monsters must be stopped. Make your way to the decrepit fields east of here and kill the Hillsbrad worgen that infests the area.
Strength.
Death to the Hillsbrad! Thank the war chief you're here. I made a critical error with the sea dogs, and I need your help to rectify. You see, I sent them out against the worgen coming out of Fenris, stone cold sober. They attacked the beasts and promptly got their butts handed to them. Many died, but a few still live, barely clinging to dear life. Take this barrel of ale to the decrepit fields east of here, and force it down the throats of the fallen.
Strength.
The trolls do have superior claims to everywhere. I will agree with that statement. Yay! Congrats, Bragwin. Up top! I guess maybe I just don't sympathize a lot with the idea of, oh, we must reclaim Lordaeron. Because it's like... Well, that's the only living survivor of Lord... Oh, no, I'm sorry. There are 2 survivors of Lordaeron that I know about. 2. The other one is busy in Westfall right now. Losing to, Oak need peanuts! I don't know. I don't really get behind the whole claims idea in general. That's never been a thing for me. Partially because I've read a lot of history, and the whole concept of the casus belli, while fascinating, is ridiculous, in my opinion. However, I will freely acknowledge that the 2+ survivors of Lordaeron have a greater claim to Lordaeron than the Forsaken who are squatting there, because the Forsaken are dead, and therefore, by legal definition, do not have a claim on the lands that they used to live on anymore. I'm still going to support the Forsaken for that. All we need is a decent leader, really. That's all we need. We need a decent leader who isn't self-interested and who isn't going to go commit atrocities, to go through the Forsaken and just fleece their own organization, police themselves, bring them down to, you know, being another decent group. I mean, do you have any idea how much of a force of decency and good the Forsaken could actually be? Yes, we do, actually, Psychotic. Well, not all of... there's like Brill and... I don't remember all the other locations. So you're right, I'm sorry. There are 3 people, 3 living descendants of Lordaeron we're aware of. One of which actually wants to claim his deeds back. Although he doesn't actually want to claim it back, like, from the Forsaken. He just wants to claim it from his brother. Because rivalry. Come on. He's right there, dude. There we go. Peanuts. Nom, 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 nom. Gilneans could annex Lordaeron. No. I'm just going to say this as bluntly as I can. No. Gilneans doesn't deserve their own lands. But yeah, there's no denying the fact that Sylvanas right now is not acting in the best interest of the Forsaken, I think is really the way to put that. Like, at all. Military expansion? That actually does make sense, as I discussed back in Gilneans. What she's doing? No. Yeah, yes. You know what Greymane did? He built a wall. Exactly. Actually, Forsaken can and do live with non-undead. Not in huge numbers, but it is something that is known to be done. How much they stink apparently varies. And I find that funny, because if you think about it, that's true for living people, too. How much a living person stinks depends on how much they take care of themselves. So, I mean, that makes sense, right? Bregwin didn't high-five me back. I'm kind of sad now. Hatchet here. They all dead. He's Worgen you killed with a scouting party. There are hundreds more coming. Looks like Crowley and the Bloodfang made the blood offering to every human in Lordaeron. Get in one of those horde cannons and send them back to their makers. To make this clear, these are not Lordaeron humans. These are Hillsbrad humans. There is a distinction. Death to the... these guys. Thank you, Bragwin. Yeah, I offered you a high five for successfully getting flying. Damn it, I let a few through. I am a failure to the Dark Lady. Now, I do have to admit, there is one really, really, really big problem if Sylvanas is removed from power. And that's the fact that so many people literally worship her, and in some cases, figuratively worship her. These do look like dwarf guns to me, yes. Hey, if they had just become Forsaken like good little boys and girls... I can't even say that with a straight face. Oh, those are fruit bats. That's what those are. I guess that's true, Darker. I wonder how many would do that. No, the Dark Lady is dead. We are truly lost as a people. We do know for a fact that the Forsaken lack strong military command structure. And to explain what I mean by that a little bit, who out there has ever heard of it's a little thing. It's called Star Wars. Anyone ever heard of that? Anyone? Yeah, I'm getting to it, Zoan. Because yeah, we have a little situation to talk about here. So, I'll continue. The second biggest flaw that Palpatine made was the fact that... The first was Tarkin. But the second biggest flaw he made was the fact that he arranged it so that he was the only one in charge. He was the absolute tyrant, dictator of the entirety of the Empire. And no one underneath him really knew exactly where their position in the organization was, right? That meant if anything ever happened to Palpatine, the whole structure came crumbling down because it was all requiring him, right? He was the apex point. He was the fulcrum of the command structure of the Galactic Empire. I like how this quest literally says, "For Sylvanas!" Anyways, this is exactly the problem that caused so much of a mess after he died. In the EU, which is the only canon, as we all know, this is the exact same problem that Sylvanas has. We know exactly what happens when Sylvanas is not there to lead her people. They are a disorganized, disinterested mess that barely has the ability to fight a battle that they actually have superior numbers and firepower on. They're just so incapable of functioning because most of their actual upper leading members are, like the Grand Executor, nothing more than toadies who lick the boots of whoever happens to be above them. Sylvanas herself is the only actual leader in the upper echelons of the Forsaken, and that is a huge problem. That means one of two things if she's removed from power. One, the dissolution of the organization as a whole, which we've seen in a potential future. We saw exactly how the Forsaken basically ceased to exist as a group. Hey, Doom. And two, this is also a possibility, and kind of almost worse as a possibility, massive power struggles. As all of history will show you, when there is not a clear line of succession, power struggles are inevitable. In fact, even when there is a clear line of succession, there's usually power struggles. That looked funny. Did you see that? The fireball went... Ugh! So, yeah. The Forsaken have such a lacking command structure that... yeah, I was asked several days ago at this point, you know, all right, you remove Sylvanas from power. Who becomes the new leader of the Forsaken? This is why we started talking about Kel'Thuzad, because there is no existing person. There is no one currently in position to take that spot, that mantle. And as Dakoita points out, any random new person who takes over, we have no idea what they're going to do with the Forsaken. They could be worse than Sylvanas. Sylvanas at least understands concepts such as cooperation, right? she at least gets the idea of working together with her fellow Horde and not actively planning against them. She at least understands that when the Burning Legion invades, she will fight alongside the Alliance, right? Darn hell. You have avenged the fallen, but there's more to be done. Search the nearby farmhouses for Alliance stragglers. Keep an eye out for information that could lead us to Crowley. You know, I'm not sure, Zawan. I'm really not. I don't know if this is a Kingdom Hearts situation, where a new soul will actually grow in absence of the other one. Holy crap! Or if... it's Smithers! He was a guy in Vanilla. Or if it will simply remain absent forever. I'm not actually sure. Oh, thank you, Chili. Appreciate it. What is your stat? Yeah, she's speaking to our mind, by the way. This is actually kind of important. Sylvanas has the ability to speak to our minds. I do want to stress she does not have mind control, okay? That is not a thing she has the power to do. She does not have that kind of will. She lost it when she got rid of Veramothras. Veramothras was the only method by which she could do that. Whoa, crap! Shovel meathead! There we go. But she does, as you can see, have the ability to connect with the... I should get out of here. Connect with the minds of those that she... the other undead, basically. She has the ability to connect with the minds of the undead. Anyways. And yeah, that whole yet is important, and I hate to say it, but as I've already pointed out, the writers have flat out said that Sylvanas will continue to grow in power over time. That's why she went from only being able to raise humans to being able to raise humans and elves, and they plan for her to be able to do more in the future. So it is very likely that actual mind control, like the Lich King could do, is in the future. Anyways, this book documents a recent meeting with Ivar Bloodfang. The location mentioned is Deep Elm Mine. I know of this place. It has only one entrance. We shall corner them and crash them! We must act quickly to Spire. We mustn't give them a chance to flee. I am dispatching a squadron of my most powerful troops to the mine. I'm also sending the horsemen with them to ensure nothing goes wrong. Meet them at the mine east of the Farthing and crush those rats! Yes, except they're Worgen. They're not... Nah, she's gone. Oh, whatever. In very rough terms, that is the idea, Taquetta, yes. The concept here is that Sylvanas behind the scenes is basically... I'm not sure, Zuan. Is that she is practicing. She is practicing her own necromantic skills behind the scenes when she's not on the front leading the army. And, yeah. If she ever reaches the point of actual mind control a la the Lich King, yeah, that is terrible. And that will pretty much officially push her into the she is now a villain situation. I mean, she's already a villain, but she's not an open villain, if you know what I mean. She's like Moira.
Lukta.
I just realized that sounds like damning with faint praise. But the point is, Moira is not someone we actively are fighting against. She's a villain, but a hidden villain, or an ally villain, or whatever you want to call that. Is Sylvanas a bad person? Yes. What is her specific evilness? I'll let the chat answer that one. Though you killed a large number of the turned Worgen, many more are still to appear. Still, their assault seems to have softened. Well done, Despire.
Go forth to victory.
Personally, this is just my opinion, Kel'Thuzad has so much more powerful of a mind, so much more experience with necromancy, and so much more raw power in him, because he is a much stronger individual than her, that if he ever actually contested her for thing, I actually have no doubt that he could combat her mind control, and her in general. Kel'Thuzad versus Sylvanas in a one-on-one fight, Kel'Thuzad would crush her. Remember, she is not actually that strong one-on-one. We've talked about this already. She's skilled. She's a good leader. But she will be killed by a shot to the head. Kel'Thuzad would look at that and be like, what is this? What are you doing? Die! You know? But anyways. Ooh, I got Soulstone. Yay! Yeah, that fashion sense just has got to go. Let's go ahead and get a soulstone going right now. Fun fact, in lore, I'm actually using souls when I do things like soulstones. No, you go ahead and tell it, Zoan. I don't feel like repeating myself. But, yeah. Let's get a picture over here. No, not with you, Sylvanas. I don't care about you. I want a picture with these three. Wings. Sylvanas could become a lich. Yes, that is entirely feasible.
Loktar.
Ah, I knew it! Lesson learned, I suppose. We will not fall again. I'll be sure to have some ale on the hand at the front line, including the hair of the dog.
Go forth to victory.
That's debatable, Merciless. I would imagine that that would be a difficult contest, because she does have a strong sense of will. There's a reason she was one of the first undead to release herself from the first Lich King's control when his power started to wane. But I'm pretty sure Kel'Thuzad could just obliterate her if it came down to it.
What are we, if not slaves to this torment?
Have you recovered the insignias? I will see to it these are returned to the Undercity at once. The Registrar will place their names in our records so their sacrifice will never be forgotten. Why are you just occasionally a decent person? God, it's confusing. Anyways. Oh God. If Sylvanas killed, I can't remember his name all of a sudden. The cat. Kel'Thuzad's cat. Yeah. You should totally do that, Raven. You know, the only answer I could possibly give to that, Zawan, is I think, once again, her necromantic skills and the skills of her valkyr are simply too limited. Even though that still doesn't make a lot of sense, but whatever, it's canon now. It's been forced down our throats. What does she specifically do? Alright, fine, Jay, fine. I want you to imagine that you were a living person. And you're dead! Okay, great, no problem. Let's say that you die. But then you get up one day. No, let's use a specific example. Let's say there were orcs that killed you. They chopped off your hands and left you there to bleed to death. And you die. Ugh. But then you get back up. And you're like, well, that's odd. I feel kind of different. You look down. There's new hands. These aren't your hands. These are new hands on your stumps now. They move like yours. And your flesh is kind of rotting off, and some of your bones are exposed. And you are now undead. But it's okay, because you're functional. You're still you. Your soul is still attached. So you are still the same person that you were when you died. Alright? That's important. Now, the Lich King would raise you up, and you would be utterly dominated by the will of the Lich King, because he could do that. Sylvanas can't do that yet. So instead you get up, and you notice you are in this warm, comforting place where there are caretakers and people who are here to help you and take care of you and guide you through this procedure. It's like, it's okay. You've died, but you're still going. You are now undead like the rest of us. And they are helpful and understanding and tolerant. Here's the catch. You are now undead. There is basically no functional place you can be where you will be accepted other than the Forsaken. So your options are thusly. Option 1, kill yourself. And that is something some people do. Option 2, go completely insane with the trauma of having died and gotten back up. Option 3, hope against hope that you could go to one of the very few organizations, if you even know they exist or where they are, survive the trip there and join them instead. Very, very low odds here of this happening. It does happen, but it is an extreme rarity. Or option 4, join the Forsaken. Because they have raised you up against your will. And you now are screwed. That's assuming your mind even survives the process. And as we discussed earlier, they have about a 1 in 3 success rate on that. About 2/3 of the people they raise up as corpses either go completely mad or immediately suicide. What she's doing is forcefully recruiting without forcing it. She's just insidiously giving you no real options in the matter. There are several things that Sylvanas does that are evil, but that's probably the worst one in my personal book, because of the personal, insidious nature of it. And yeah, as Royer points out, people are being raised literally hundreds a day. Hundreds a day people are being added to this pile.
Hello.
Supposed to corner them first and crush.
Victory for Sylvanas.
Mistress put me in charge of this lot. Our primary mission is to get in there and corner the rats and kill them all, including Bloodfang. You've done us a solid service in getting the information. Join in the glory and help us drive a sword through their miserable skulls.
Trust no one.
Ready then? Let's get a move on. Try and keep up to Spire. Onward, brothers and sisters. For the Forsaken. And this song plays. That's great. Hey, a lot of explosives. Guys. Guys. Hello, Ivar. It's a trap! Run! Remember, this is the day that Fortescue saved your hide. Now run and get back to Sylvanas. He shoves you back if you don't run away like I did. I should have just let him shove me back. Pretended I was an idiot. Oh god, merciless. I could too. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if several of the angry dead in the graveyard are exactly that. And yeah, that's the other thing that Sylvanas does that is evil. She is only interested in herself. I'm sorry, but pure selfishness in my book does qualify as evil. She will do whatever she has to without regard or limit, without concept of morality or ethics, and will manipulate those around her into a fervor with the truth because of the fact that she wants something, that she wants to survive, basically. The meat wall that Zawun mentioned. I mentioned the truth. Oh, both, Agamemnon. I mentioned the truth thing because a lot of what she said is the truth. The plight of the Forsaken, the fact that they're being hounded by the Alliance, the fact that they have enemies and all that, you know, the fact that the Forsaken are screwed is true.
We are the Forsaken. We will slaughter anyone who stands in our way.
I'm not going to yell this at full volume, but what? She shrieks, Crowley! Bastards. Those are some of our strongest soldiers. I have underestimated Crowley and the Bloodfang for the last time. Clearly, they are an enemy the likes of which we have never seen, willing to sacrifice their own to set a trap like this, unheard of in Alliance warfare.
I have no time for games.
The time has come to destroy Crowley, Bloodfang, and every dog at their command. To do this, though, will require cunning and planning the likes of which they would never dare dream. As one of my most trusted soldiers, I need you to go to the Forsaken Forward Command, located in Gilneans. Report to the Deathstalker Commander Belmont. I sent Belmont ahead with my plans. He awaits your arrival. This is what should have happened earlier, by the way, with the valkyr literally carrying us. Fun fact, this is kind of a gameplay story integration thing, because when you're fighting the Lich King, he can actually pick you up with a valkyr and toss you over the edge. In fact, it's kind of a funny way to die, if you're not already in the middle of a wipe. Yes, Merciless, they are. They're also dead at this point. At this point, yes, the one. The Forsaken lived a fairly squalid existence until they started conquering and taking new territories and actually building. So, by the way, this is Greymane's precious wall. Yeah, yeah. I believe I've really said all I need to about that. But everyday Forsaken life has definitely gone up. It has gotten better ever since they have started you know, expanding and taking care of themselves. Sadly, but truly. Ah, now there's a familiar sound. Hang on. The Forsaken did, Dakota. Or is it... Actually, I guess it's a combination of the Cataclysm and the Forsaken cracked it. I gotta give full credit here.
Watch your back.
Come on, do it. Do it. Shoot it. Shoot it. Shoot it. You bastards, you just did it. Oh, whatever.
This had better be good.
Well, if it isn't Despire, noob. Please stop calling me that. I hope you're ready for battle, because that's all you'll find in this hellhole. We're at the heart of contested territory, and these Worgen won't give an inch. The Dark Lady has sent you and Athura here with a very specific purpose. Before I tell you more, we must make preparations. Yes, that's right. Sylvanas is about to get too clever for her own good. Seriously, that's pretty much exactly what's about to happen here. Head east into the forest of Gilneans and search the trees and rocks of the region for a special plant called Wolfsbane. Gather as much of it you can and return to me. Hey, come on.
Beware the living. I am forsaken.
I like your armor. I don't know how much longer we can hold out for, Despire. Crowley and Bloodfang's Worgen know every hidey hole and safe spot in Gilneans. 1 minute they're standing in front of you, and the next they're gone. We're gonna lose the war to attacks of opportunity, even though we have superior military presence. But Mama didn't raise no quitter. Forsaken till the end, my friend. Head west into the headlands and kill the soldiers! Kill them all! Kill them endlessly.
Our time will come.
I hope that what I just said answered your question, Dakota. Communications are still down with all our frontline outposts. As of right now, I don't have a damn clue as to the status of our troops in Gilneans. We need to re-establish communications. Head west to the headlands and find our outpost on the corpse. By now, the soldiers there are likely dead, but their FCD might be operational.
Trust no one.
I have no idea, Jay. I mean, I know that sounds weird, but I really don't have any idea how to answer that. It's like you're asking me to compare an apple and a steak. Those are so completely different things that I have no basis of comparison. Yeah, I know, right? Makes sense, really. These are the Gilneans, and as much as I absolutely hate Gilneans, I will give them credit for being, like, militarily competent, for lack of a better term to use. In other words, as I've pointed out before, there is really no actual such thing as a Gilnean civilian. Not in the strictest sense of the word. Every single Gilnean is effectively a member of their militia, even if they're not a part of the regular military. So we have a huge militia force who have been empowered by becoming Worgen, so there's that. And they know this place inside and out. They're literally practicing, yay, Bregman, guerrilla warfare on a massive scale. The worst thing the Gilneans could do is actively push back against the Forsaken. I guess similar to dwarves. More like Wildhammer dwarves. There are plenty of Bronzebeard civilians. For that matter, there's actually plenty of Dark Iron civilians. But soon we will crush these Gilnean scum for the Dark League. Oh, wait, sorry. I had a voice talking in my head there for a moment. Well, I mean, seriously, Jay, it's like, okay, so you're asking me to compare a good life of, say, in real life, I don't know, astronomer versus the good life of a real life insurance salesman. There's like there's no basis of comparison there. You're living a different life now. Now, it is a better life than it used to be underneath the recent wave of conquests, but it is, you know, it's such a different life that comparing it to before is going to rely on you personally determining if you think it's better or not, right? So, yeah. Well, it shouldn't be Yogg-Saron since he's dead. Thank you, book, for confirming me on that one. Yeah, unfortunately or not, we don't see the ground level all that often in Warcraft. If you don't know what I mean by that, I mean like the everyday actions of just normal people. The below decks concept, if you will. We do see it occasionally, but we haven't seen it for every culture or every civilization that exists in the setting yet. I will tell you that the lives of the Forsaken prior to Cataclysm were pretty terrible. Because again, they weren't really a major power amongst the Horde. They were hated by the Alliance, and they were constantly harried by the Scarlet Crusade. I am amused to be right about that, Zawon, because I'm right for all the wrong reasons, if you know what I mean. And yes, there are blue foxes around here. You can tame one if you're a hunter. I know you guys probably don't have the same kind of memory I do, but it feels like just yesterday we were going through here on our Gilnean, on our Worgen. Right over there, remember that? There were a series of quests over there to fight back against Forsaken attacks, and there was a mine right there we had to go into and save people. Yeah. And the giant that kept stepping on me, yes.
I'm listening.
Did you gather the wolfsbane? Good. Now, just do as Forward Commander Onslaught commands. Try your best to fit in with the rest of the soldiers. We don't want the Gilneans to get suspicious. Oh, you didn't know they were watching us? Right now there are 5 different Worgen spies looking down on our position. Just be calm and follow your orders. I'll let you know when we're ready to proceed.
Goodbye.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. For those of you not know, there's actually a city map for Gilneas. Although I can actually go ahead and tell you why that is real quick, simply. It's very, very simple. Cut content. For those of you not aware, Cataclysm was huge. It was a huge amount of content. They redid 2 continents worth of content. See this? This is Cataclysm. All this. It's huge. The reason I mention that, though, is Cataclysm was already taking a long time because of how huge it was. They were, to be completely honest, a little bit too ambitious with Cataclysm. So a decent amount of content did have to get cut because they were just taking so long. And for those of you who don't remember, the time between the Icecrown Citadel raid coming out and Cataclysm coming out was a long freaking time, and a lot of people were really losing interest in the game as a result of the huge absence of content. That's why they released the Halion patch, which was... So, yeah.
What is it?
If I could still breathe, I'd let out a sigh of relief. Don't get too comfortable, though. Your mission's just begun.
Victory for Sylvanas.
Recover the FCD. With this device, I'll be able to communicate with you in the field. Now to check the rest of our frontline posts. I'm not going to lie to you. What I'm about to ask you is a suicide chance of failure at about 95%. All communication from Dreadwatch Outpost has been severed. With the Worgen constantly harassing us, we have no means by which to get to Dreadwatch to check on our soldiers. I need you to head south and check on those soldiers. I'll keep in contact, and keep clear of the main road.
Dark Lady, watch over you.
Sure, but listen, I have this ability now called Hand of Gul'dan. Should I be worried about that? No? No? Okay. Yeah, we'll go with this picture right here. Behold! Our conquered city! I suppose that depends on you, Jay. I've never had any problems role-playing in Warcraft, though. I would say Ruby Sanctum was worse, personally, Diesel. At least TOC had some fun fights in it. Ruby Sanctum was just like annoying trash, annoying trash, annoying trash, annoying trash. Way, way too much annoying trash. And then a pretty cool boss fight, but one boss fight, you know. Alright, so they're all dead. Dreadwatch is lost. This is bad, real bad. Hi, K. If Dreadwatch is compromised, it means we've lost Gilneas City. Our next outpost is Rutsak's Guard, located due east of the Dreadwatch. Make your way to Rutsak's while avoiding the rushers. If you make it there in one piece, look for the captain. Just be prepared for the worst. Also, why are we blighting this place? We're trying... I mean, I get it. We're blighting it because we're trying to flush them out, because they're performing guerrilla warfare. So our answer and solution to guerrilla warfare is get rid of the ability to perform guerrilla warfare. Just remove their capacity to do it by despoiling the entire terrain. Hey, look, burning Forsaken. Hey, what's up, Captain? Gilneas, port, humans, reinforcements from Stormwind. They slaughtered my men, left me alive to witness their strength, to tell High Command. Tell them the 7th Legion are here. Bum, bum, bum. Actually, we have a communicator. We've got a little FCD that we went to grab. The 7th Legion, they rushed us in the dead of night. Their captain barked orders as the submariners slaughtered my men. Then he came to me, put his face to mine, and said, "The name's Master Sergeant Pietro Zarin, officer of the 7th Legion. When you see your soldiers being slaughtered in your nightmares, if you even still dream, remember my name and tremble." Yes, Shiryu. Very common thing we do. Avenge my soldiers. Kill the 7th Legion. You got it. The 7th Legion are a special elite ops regiment. They've been here, behind the scenes, for almost every major offensive and military engagement the Alliance has ever done. This is bad news. How did they get past our warships? On whose orders are they here? We need to get our hands on those orders. Go kill Master Sergeant Pietro. Okay. I'll go do that. Also, blight doesn't... Initial blight kills Forsaken, but blight residue doesn't kill Forsaken. And we know this at the very least because of South Shore. Both. It is actually specifically a Magitech creation, Jay. Sure, Takoida, why not? No. Only the goblins use nanomagitech. Well, see, the problem, Jay, is the point of the blight is to destroy everything, so they kind of deliberately make it destroy everything. Like, actually, every single quest we ever do with regarding the blight is about trying to make it more lethal, to kill more things. Not less. Oh, that bastard has my claymore! You know, I was gonna let him live, but he has my claymore. There's only one answer to that question. It's time to finally unleash the beast! Ah! By fell powers, I consume you! Ah! Die, die in fell fire! Ah! There is no escape! No survival. Status. Oh, hang on, I want to read the orders. Zarin, your first objective is to take and hold the cathedral quarter of Gilneas city. From there, I want you to work with Lord Crowley's worgen to push forward into enemy territory. Take out their outposts, cut their lines of communication. King Rin has assured me that a full armada of warships is en route and should be arriving any day. Once the rest of the fleet is here, we'll launch an all-out assault on the Forsaken Forward Command and beat those worthless maggots back into Silverpine. Once Gilneas is control, we will begin operations for retaking Lorerun. Yes, I actually have the ability to temporarily become fel-infused and have a partially demon form. That's a called metamorphosis. So hi, honestly bad. Your name actually looks familiar to me. I'm not sure why. Maybe I've seen you comment on YouTube. Either way, shoutouts. I'd say welcome to my stream, but apparently you've been here for a while. I'm glad you enjoy it, and I hope you continue enjoying it. So, thank you. Fell trigger. That's... I assume you're referring to the Devil May Cry thing, Kane, in which case that is not an invalid comparison. Now, I will admit, I am super excited about Demon Hunters. Really, I am. I am a little disappointed they're getting rid of the metamorphosis thing for retake Alterac. You can have Alterac. Anyways, oh, whoops. Right. Complete the quest. Ah, the Alliance Armada is en route. How could this have happened? You've got to hurry. We're being overrun up here at Forward Command. Look around the cathedral quarter. There should be a telescope nearby. Find it and use it to scout the harbor. Hurry! We can't hold these beasts back much longer. Well, the Forsaken need to eat. As we've discussed earlier, we're not sure if that's a physical need or a mental need. But one way or another, Forsaken do need to consume food. So, yeah. Deploy even more blight. Quick! Oh, here we go. Man, I gotta admit, these Gilnean telescopes are terrible! Alright, what do we got? Let's see. There's a submarine. Yep, I see that. There's the High Lord Wormbane. I remember him. He was in Northrend, if you forgot. Yep. And there's a... That's only 3 ships. The Bloodsails had more ships than that. Come on. That is an amazing telescope, I'll have to admit. Yeah. Torpedoed. We had everything at the waterline covered, but nothing below the line. They must have snuck beneath our defenses and blown our warships to smithereens. And now the rest of the Alliance fleet is here. Do you read me? Come in. This is my final transmission. The Worgen have overrun the Forsaken Forward Command. It's only a matter of time before the base is lost. Belmont and the Valkyr have left. Belmont mentioned they'll rendezvous with you at Emberstone Village, located in the northeast. Find Belmont. Our mission, our very existence depends on it. You're our final hope. Submarines are gnomish inventions. That should be obvious. So, what's interesting about this here is for all the evils that Sylvanas does, and for all the atrocities the Forsaken military commit, The one thing I have to point out is I fully understand their position here. It is literally, I hate to quote Mass Effect 3 here, but it is literally a they fight or they die situation. The Alliance will not treat with the Forsaken, at least not at this point in history. They've tried, as I've pointed out, to treat with the Alliance. And the Alliance said, you're undead, go die. So the only options here are try to fight back or be wiped out. Is it no wonder that the Forsaken pushed so hard back? I mean, seriously, what are their options here? That could be Last Exile, even though we know for a fact that is not true. It is entirely possible the Alliance either doesn't know that or doesn't care. The Alliance being bigoted? Nah. No, Darker. Though we are shamed in battle, the enemy was not victorious. I will not soon forget this. I'm going to make my way back to Silverpine. I will likely retire from service. War is not in my blood. Ugh, water. I abandoned the orcs to the water. Absolutely, I do, Bitmonk. Without question or hesitation. Garrosh already hated the Forsaken, and he had the military might to crush them at this point in history. Much as I hate to admit that. The Orcs do basically have the Forsaken under the axe, if you follow. The only people I know working on spacecraft are raptors and goblins. I'm serious.
What now?
Forward, Commander. Onslaught fought until the bitter end to Spire. It took a pack of bloodthirsty worgen to finally bring him down. We must not let his death, or the death of all our soldiers in Gilneans, go in vain. Our mission must succeed. Now I will reveal to you why we are here. Lord Vincent Godfrey spent his life defending the kingdom of Gilneans. When the worgen curse ravaged this land, Godfrey was one of the first Gilneans to take up arms against the beasts. It is said that upon discovering that his king was afflicted by the curse, Godfrey took his own life. He would rather be dead than serve the very creatures he had defended his home against. We are going to give him a second chance to Spire. Together we will battle southeast towards the Tempest Reach and collect his corpse.
Beware the living.
Hi, Formosan. Hi, Bender. Doop dap doop ba ba doo doo. Lol, okay. Me too, actually, sure. And then Godfrey turned out to be Godfrey. Actually, it's funny you asked that, Rory. Their solution was to leave the planet. I'm not making that up. Whoa. This is Commander Lorna Crowley of the Gilneans Liberation Front. If you're hearing this message, you know that Alliance once again controls Gilneans. Lay down your weapons and surrender. Failure to comply will result in your death. You're gonna kill us anyways, you bigoted bastard. Our forces have locked onto your position and will arrive shortly. Resistance is futile. Oh, crap. Okay. That's bad. Fortunately, I'm overpowered as hell. Otherwise, I'd be doomed right now. Yeah, I lost my ads. There! Hey! Welcome back now that the battle's over. Apparently, Lorna Crowley was always a Borg. Who knew? Also, I can now shoot meteors at people. That's just kind of cool. Well, they've already reached it, Jay. Like, as of now, that's already a thing. I'm sure plenty of people got the Borg comment there. We will find you, monster. I'm right here, dude. I'm right here. Bring it. Hey, buddy. Fireball in the face. And a meteor. Just for good measure. Yes, Jay. Although it's only a small group of goblins and one raptor. But still. They've already succeeded. Ah. I like the atmosphere of these quests, I have to admit. We are literally behind enemy lines, being hunted by the enemy as we speak. Well, little Billy, the first thing that's going to happen is I will become the new god of this world. Oh no, they all died horribly, Jay. I don't know what happened to them. Oh yeah, the Draenei have a spaceship too, by the way.
Speak quickly.
No time to bask in the battle glory. We have a job to do. I have no doubt more of those beasts are on the way.
Remember.
Ding! Level 20. Alright, right. So first of all, gotta get a ding picture with the horns. There we go. In my canon, they died. It makes more sense that way. Okay, so I have one new ability here. Let's see what this does. I'm sure it's nothing important.
You're in trouble now.
Actually, I don't think the succubi is useful at this point in history, or is she? Oh, crap. Let's find out! Fuzzy pickles. But you know what is important is the fact that I'm a warlock, which is one of two classes in the entire game that doesn't have to go train level 20 mounts. So I just have a level 20 mount. Like this. Bam. Right now, we are behind enemy lines in Gilneas, attempting to assist the Forsaken Warfront to prevent the Alliance from extinguishing us as a race. This is another one of those really messed up situations, the more you think about it. It's like, well... even Zawan would agree, I think, that this Forsaken do not need to be wiped out down to the last individual. And yet that is exactly what the Alliance is coming to do right now. Driven by the Gilneans, especially. The other is Paladin. But at the same time, pushing back and blighting and taking care of this area is just equally stupid. So it's like, what the crap? Whatever. I think we're just all dumb, and I think we just need to accept that fact. Just like we did back in South Barrens. You know, I don't think I've ever noticed this before. Hang on. Look at her shadow. Can you see that right there? It's hard to... Okay, there, right there. Only her armor, her chest piece, the bits on her wings, and the leg plates are the only things that cast a shadow there. So, there he is. As you can see, when he jumped down here, he really did jump and die back in the Gilneas starter zone.
I am forsaken.
Here we are, Despire. He's a little rotted, but no worse for wear. We must hurry before the Alliance finds us.
Victory for Sylvanas. This had better be good. Hello.
With our mission objective secured, the time has come for us to make our escape. Though Gilneans is lost, with the aid of Godfrey and his lieutenants, we'll have it back in no time at all. Go now, Despire. Fly back with Arthur to the Forsaken Front. The Queen awaits your arrival.
Remember, patience.
Please don't drop me this time.
Discipline.
What about you, Belmont? How will you get back? I'll be fine, Arthur. The Worgen lost our scent. It's doubtful they even know we're here. I'll probably make it back to the Forsaken Front before you two. Or 3. Now move out! You must not keep the Banshee Queen waiting. So be it. Farewell, Belmont. I'd say the... It is theorized, Jay, and there's a lot of evidence for this, that Sylvanas and her valkyr don't have the power to do that. Lich King did. You know, Zewan, this whole plan has always been questionable to me. This is why I say Sylvanas is getting more cunning, too cunning for her own good. Seriously. She's trying to resurrect a Gilnean, one of the only Gilnean who isn't a Worgen that she knows she can get under her own wing. Now, there's some logic to that. Someone who knows Gilneas, someone who knows the Gilnean forces, it would be an invaluable intelligence asset, but why in the hell would Godfrey ever join them, except for his rabid hatred of the Worgen? She's literally relying on his racism as a way to secure him as a member of her forces. I stress once again, she cannot mind control. And yeah. Congrats, you have won back Gilneas. I actually have no idea, Bitmonk. Really, I don't. They should be neutral, but we'll see. They could, theoretically, Darker, that is true. The only contest down there would be the Naga.
What joy is there in this curse?
I had no doubt you would succeed. I hope you understand why I kept secret the true purpose of your mission. Should Crowley and the Bloodfang have found out about our plan, they would have gotten to Godfrey first and disposed of the body. Stand by. The time of their rebirth is at hand.
What are we, if not slaves to this torment?
Right, let's go back to being an imp, instead of having the fricking succubi at our back. Hey, Lilu. I've already done Caverns of Time, Bender, so I suppose the answer to the question is yes.
We are the Forsaken.
You
We
are
will slaughter anyone who stands in our way.
You are unwavering in your loyalty to the Forsaken, Despire. Know that what you've done for us, for the Horde, will not go unnoticed. With Lord Godfrey and his men recovered, we'll have great advantage over the Gilnean Liberation Front and the rest of the Alliance dogs. Now stand at my side as Lord Godfrey is reborn as one of us. Together we will bring him and his men into the fold. Rise, Lord Vincent Godfrey. Be reborn as an instrument of my vengeance. Damn it, I've already answered that question 3 times today, Formosan. Suffice it to say, statistically speaking, they are likely to join the Forsaken. You live to serve me, Godfrey. Together we will crush the Worgen uprising and retake Gilneas for the Forsaken. For the Horde! Yes, of course. The irony of what I've become is not lost on me, Lady Sylvanas. Though, as I've always said, better dead than Worgen. Or in this case, better undead than Worgen. Prepare your men. The Gilneas Liberation Front amasses at the Greymane Wall. Soon their reinforcements from Stormwind will arrive. We haven't a minute to waste. Armor, weapons, whatever you may need, you'll find it at the supply depot behind me. Go now. As you wish, Banshee Queen. Once again you have impressed me, Despire. Without your aid, we would have not made it this far. Walk with me. My Infernal does not know what to do about this walking situation.
I've no time for games.
Today marks a new beginning for the Forsaken. Well, that is kind of true. And an end for the Alliance in Lorerun.
What are we, if not slaves to this torment?
While Godfrey and I make preparations for our assault upon Gilneans, I want you to lead our attack upon Ambermill, directly east of here. The former Lorerun Magi of the Ambermill have erected a magical barrier that somehow cloaks them from vision. They currently reside within some type of pocket dimension, awaiting orders from the Alliance to begin their attack. We must prevent their assault by making a preemptive strike. And that's true. The Forsaken probably could make abominations at this point. The Magi of Ambermill have employed foul magic to keep us away. Elemental servitors, created with immunities we cannot breach. Protect their territory. Venture east and slay the unyielding elemental servitors that guard the town, and recover their cores. Bring their cores back to me, so I may devise a method by which we can destroy them all. I can't agree with that, Darker. I mean, admittedly, attacking the Kirin Tor here is a bit of a mistake. However, they are literally preparing to attack us. A preemptive strike against an enemy who is preparing to attack you is acceptable.
Brawlhall.
Yeah,
Be
sure.
safe.
We'll get to that later. Ah, real mounts. It really has a preference for this mount on this character, doesn't it? I mean, how many times have we had that? That's true, Dakota. Alright, so here's the Lorerun barrier. I suppose we don't have 100% proof, but given that this is clearly an Alliance-allied town, with Alliance-allied people who are not actually loyal to Lorerun proper, who have devised a method of, you know, militarily being cognizant of this area. I don't know. I just cannot in any way conceive that she is not accurate about her intel. I will, however, acquiesce that we do not absolutely 100% know these people were preparing to attack the Forsaken. I just also cannot conceive any reason why they would not be. Yeah, the corruption thing, it's kind of become a joke over the years, how often it tends to be a thing. Okay, I am having like the worst drop luck in the world off of these. Good lord. For the Forsaken. Yeah, no, sorry, I've been thinking about it in my head. I would make the exact same move they're making here to attack Ambermill. It is a risky and dangerous move, but it is the correct tactical move, in my opinion. You know, I'm not sure, Formosan. I would say they do not rot over time, but then again, it has not actually been that long since they've existed. In fact, I can tell you exactly how long the oldest Forsaken body is at this point in time. The oldest Forsaken body at this point in history is a mere 8 years old. Now, I mean, 8 years is, you know, for a corpse, they would definitely have rotted. But, like, I have no idea how long it would take for their bodies to rot. The fact that they haven't rotted already is probably indicative. shrug. I don't have the concrete answer there. Favorite type of villain to watch? I can't say there's one particular type that that I prefer over all other types. Can you? Darker? I don't know, honestly. I do know that these guys employ magic to keep them close together. Anyways, favorite type of villain. I admit I have a thing for the ridiculously powerful type of villain. Like, no subtlety, no complexity, no just power. I'd use Voldemort as an example there, but actually my favorite example is from Bleach, because it so neatly describes what I mean by that. Arguably Gul'dan is one of these two. Kenpachi Zaraki, I may be pronouncing that wrong, is a good example of the type of character that I like. Type of villain, I should say, that I like, that I enjoy. I also tend to enjoy the type of villain that I find myself thinking, you know, if you weren't an evil bastard, I'd totally be on your side. I have a perfect example of that type of villain. Xehanort. I actually fully agree with him, other than the fact that he's an evil bastard. As far as my favorite villain to write, I have no idea. Magical runes dance along the spine of this codex. That could be time sync. Again, I don't actually know. It's a speculative situation here. Since most of the rules that we know for a certainty are rules that apply to Scourge Undead, and those really are like a different category over there. Also, best mount ever, best mount ever. I like how even the land around here is just kind of not as lively as it should be. Favorite villain to kill? Garrosh, which is why I'm so pissed off I didn't get to. Have you recovered the servitor cores? Well done. The praise the Banshee Queen lavishes upon you is apparently not unfounded.
We are the Forsaken.
Yeah, by the way,
We
Bear
will
Cavalry.
slaughter anyone who stands in our way.
Bear Cavalry, that's a real thing for trolls. Clever mages. Their codex is sealed by magical ward. Pity they weren't clever enough to realize their former archmages of Dalaran are now Forsaken. Take the codex and travel to the sepulchre. Once there, find Dalar Dawnweaver. He is a former archmage of the Kirin Tor. Surely he'll be able to bring down the protective ward surrounding the codex and pry its secrets loose. Hurry to Spire. I treat them as separate, Formosan. Experience and time have made them segregate enough, and I have this lingering suspicion that they are more separate than we've been led to believe. You know, I actually have no idea. Darker.
What now?
I imagine most people would not want to be, you know, a there we go.
Trust no one.
A skeleton, but I. For example, we do know that Forsaken have a sense of taste. As a skeleton, you wouldn't have that. So. Well, if you'll remember, Dawnweaver, whatever the heck his name is, was actually a character back in Vanilla. And he was someone who always had rivalries with the other archmages, and he found it irritating that they always looked down upon him. So here, he took the opportunity to show them that he was better than them, and he's the one who gave most of the quests to go after the Dalaran mages. So yeah, I think in this exact case, he is absolutely the kind of guy to go against his fellow former Kirin Tor. But that is an individual circumstance, not an overall.
And you are...
This had better be good.
Yes, what is it? The Dark Lady requires my expertise. Well, of course! Give it here, you girl. The Dark Lady is correct in her assertion that I am unable to unlock the Codex. Unfortunately, I need the signet ring from an Archmage to do it. My own ring was taken away when I died, but there might still be a way. While Dalaran has floated away, the outskirts of the city remain. Far to the east lie the ruins of Dalaran. It's there you'll find the Archmage known as Relios. Take his signet ring and bring it back to me. You can use the portal behind me to get to the Creator.
Our time will come.
Under ordinary circumstances, I am not a vengeful man. In fact, I am somewhat of a pragmatist. You see, practicality is a paradoxical notion to vengeance. Most revenge ploys are highly impractical. But in this case, since you're already going to the ruins of Dalaran, you might as well kill every Dalaran-affiliated human you see. The reasons I want them dead range from hatred to anger to betrayal, but I assure you they are all legitimate gripes. Do this for me and I'll pay you handsomely.
Beware the living.
In order, Formosan. Yes, yes, no, no. Also, hi, Draven. Oh god, where are we? We're in Dalaran. He cast a portal to Dalaran. That's actually quite funny. Hey, there's a Crusader over here. I must raise him as undead. Wait, I can't do that. I'm a warlock. At this point in history, though, the Kirin Tor, the actual Kirin Tor, are in fact a neutral force. Try to remember, these are not actually the Kirin Tor. These are more like the remnants of the Kirin Tor. Whoops, whoops. I like how the sewers are still down here, by the way. That's a nice touch. For those of you not aware, in the Dalaran that's floating in Northrend right now, the sewers just kind of open out into the abyss. What type of villain have I made the most of? Well, in terms of pure statistics, I would have to say the most common type of villain I've made, and admittedly I've moved away from this over the years, is the villain who isn't actually a villain. Invincible, that is exceptionally appropriate right now. Yeah, that is actually a good example of that, Dakota. I'll agree with that. You know, I get that it's Dalaran, and this is what they do, but I wonder, I question the wisdom of the Kirin Tor. Let's examine what they did here, okay? The Kirin Tor were wrecked first by the Scourge and then by Archimond personally. And then they sealed off their entire city in this massive, impenetrable arcane bubble, which was here from then until Wrath, actually. Having done so, they then sat behind there and rebuilt Dalaran, but only the Dalaran city, not actually the Dalaran town that lies beyond the Violet Citadel and whatnot. They just rebuilt the primary nexus point. Then they rip the entirety of that central city out of the earth and carry it north to Northrend to go fight to go fight Malygos. I mention that because if you've seen Dalaran, you know how incredibly different it looks than these ruins right here. They just let the rest of it just kind of rot while they sat in there behind their wall and... Wait, this sounds familiar. Nah, I'm sure it's nothing. Actually, the bubble isn't in place. What you're seeing there is the remnants of it. See, when you have ridiculously powerful magic, like was required to do that, when you have ridiculously powerful magic, and you could see the massive runic... See, they were actually using an extensive, incredible form of runic magic here. Basically, imagine if you had an entire retinue of mages walking around the city, continuously casting these runes around the whole thing. That's what created the barrier. So there is a echo of the original magic still there, because it was just that powerful, even though the bubble was removed. This bubble might... This echo of this bubble, in theory, might actually be here for centuries. If at the very least years from this point on, just because of how powerful that enchantment was. And it was runic magic to boot. Also, ignore the fell energy erupting from me like violet flames. Just ignore that, okay? See, it's cool. It's cool. But yeah, you can see the energies of that bubble still lingering there. And chunks of the earth still floating from when Dalaran was enchanted to rise into the ire. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Lilu. As much as I like these quests, these should have been pushed further back, level-wise. One of the things I liked about WoW, and still do to an extent, is the fact that I'm a demon. Die. 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 Is the fact that you start off small, right? And in fact, you stay small for quite a while, actually. In fact, even through most of BC, you're still just kind of an average level, decent guy. I took a selfie earlier, so I think we're good on that. Ow! Right, not a monk. Not a monk! Not a monk! Ah, quick. Run. No! Crap. Yes, there is. Rory. Also, I should join their guild. There's also one incident in the game that gives the idea that Forsaken can still feel. That incident, of course, being when you take a memento or something like that to someone who'd lost it, and her reaction is happiness and joy, and she's like, oh, this is amazing. It's incredible. And then she realizes that, and, you know, the depression kicks in, and she's like, and it's gone forever, and it'll never come back. And, you know... Oh yeah, by the way, so some people have asked what the hell I was talking about with regards to the sky earlier. That's what the sky looks like. Ignore the text there. I can't seem to... Yeah, maybe if I do like this. There we go, there we go. There's the sky. Welcome to the Shadow Plane. Yeah, you see all that spirit energy getting sucked up there? We still don't know exactly what this is. I've already given my theories on the matter. I would say no, Rory, because it only really, at least in theory, would affect the things that were here originally. I dislike war crimes for several reasons, but mostly because it just seems like such an unnecessary book. What happened in war crimes that matters for the overall plot? Garrosh goes back in time, which is dumb. Not that I'm blaming the book on that, but, you know. And Sylvanas solidifies the fact that she'll be a villain forever. And that's it. That's it. That's the only significance that book has. Ugh. Also, the Force August Celestials are really dumb, and I want to smack them. But that's unrelated too. To repeat my theories in brief, I think that the very nature of death is wrong. That the shadow plane is literally just not correct. And what we're seeing is the destabilization of death and the massive influx of death and that energy in the world. And that is a byproduct of basically everything that's happened from the Lich King forward. And so what we're literally seeing is all of that spirit energy being sucked out into God knows what. My original theory was a little different. My original theory that was literally a direct byproduct of what the Lich King was doing up in Northrend. Yes, war crimes is canon.
What is it? Dark lady, watch over you.
What's that you have there to spy? Smart girl. I can most definitely use these arcane remnants in my studies. Indeed, Dalaran was built upon a massive ley line. It's no wonder then such a thing exists at the crater.
Goodbye.
I thought for sure that with the death of a dozen of my most hated enemies, I'd feel a great burden lifted from my shoulders. Sadly, I do not feel a thing. Perhaps I am a psychopath.
Beware the living.
Did you recover the Archmage's signet ring? Perfect. I hope this wasn't too much trouble to come by. Relios was a pupil of mine back when I was a mortal man, thereby making him a competent and formidable adversary. I suppose I could have warned you about that ahead of time. Now let's see that ring. Let's see. Here we are. Aha! Oh, that's bad. With this ring, one may enter the pocket dimension at Amber Mill. That person will need to fight through an army of magi, kill the Archmage that is generating the phase from inside, and then the dimension will fold, ejecting the magi. The portal entry is at the back of a cave to Baron's Peril, and that's all I know. Take this back to Sylvanas.
Victory for Sylvanas.
I don't think it would for Mosin, since undeath is one of the primal forces of reality. So I don't think that you could just eject undeath anymore, that you could just spontaneously get rid of the light.
And you,
if you follow.
Trust no one.
Wait, I think I just went to the wrong spot. Ah, that could be Dakota, yeah. Or it could be the Void Lords. Or it could be... excuse me. Or it could be natural. That could be literally us staring at what we are supposed to go to the afterlife, because we know an afterlife exists in this setting. So that could be where we go when we go to the light or to the dark, is up into that void. And we don't because we're resisting it. Because, you know, screw that noise.
What joy is there in this curse?
What have you learned? Only one may enter. I know just the person for this mission. Take the ring and make your way into the Baron's Peril. Once there, look for the cave. I will communicate to you through your thoughts. Please don't. Please don't communicate. Okay, whatever. Sure.
McGraw.
These Worgen take us for fools. One would think that only an idiot would mistake one of their druids in bear form as a real bear. Unfortunately, there are many idiots at the Forsaken Front. We've already lost a few battalions to organized Worgen bear attacks. Yes, it's even more idiotic than it sounds. Directly east of here, you will find Worgen druids roaming the hills, masquerading as bears. Kill them! Make our southern supply lines safe again.
For the Horde.
You heard it here first. We are an army of idiots. I do wonder at their number usages, because when I think battalion, I usually think in the 1,000 range. 1,182, I want to say off the top of my head. Bam! Meteor. Oh, time to kill some Worgen druids to make sure they never get to reclaim Gilneans. Seriously, why are you fighting us? Go home and fix Gilneans. Ugh. Stop fighting us. Like he said, they're idiots. Oh yeah, that's totally a bear right there. Look at that. Yes! God dang it. Why the hell did we blight Gilneans? That was so stupid! Actually, one thing I would like to see, although we never will because of Legion spoilers. Oh wait, we can talk about this. So, for those of you not aware, we've actually not talked about any Legion spoilers today. But I'll go and give you a quick audio warning that we're about to spoil something from Legion. There we go. We know for a fact that Sylvanas is in Legion pretty much primarily to try and get herself some new valkyr. While she's there, Greymane actually breaks formation and ignores the Legion front and starts trying to attack her out of vengeance. Now, not saying that's, like, wrong. I totally get where he's coming from there. But I mentioned that because under ideal circumstances, it would be nice if we could have a situation where, for example, the Forsaken could not be pushed into conquering Gilneas. Remember, the only reason the Forsaken are actually after Gilneas particular is because of Garrosh. With Garrosh gone, you know, maybe there could be some kind of situation there. But of course, as was just pointed out in chat, she did accidentally kill his son. So I doubt he is ever going to forgive her for that. So the only way for there to actually be peace between Gilneas and the Forsaken is for Sylvanas and Greymane to die. And I think I'm okay with that. Seriously, though, I have a hard time condemning him for going after her. I know that sounds weird because it is an incredibly stupid thing to do. Alright, there's the Legion, and we're fighting against the Legion. Die, ally! I mean, that is just incredibly stupid of a thing to do, especially when the Burning Legion is invading. However, again, it's really hard to ignore the emotional investment of hatred he has against her. Now, Crowley, I have a lot more respect for Crowley than I do Greymane. Crowley's also a lot more likely to try and broker some kind of coordination between the two. Also, Crowley was always a better leader than Greymane, even before the Worgen, or the Forsaken, or the Scourge for that matter. Can Worgen breed? To my knowledge, no. But my knowledge is not extensive on that because the Worgen have only been around for a short period of time. Wouldn't that be hysterical, though? If the Worgen could only continue to exist as a species if they force other people to be Worgen. Doesn't that sound similar to something else? That would be wonderfully hilarious. If I was writing this, I would absolutely make it that way. That the only way they could breed is by forcing other people to become Worgen. I like that idea. But I don't know, is the truth. The Worgen haven't really been a functional force long enough to breed. Alright, let's do it. Stop getting into my thoughts. Yes, this is it. Now run the ring along the runes of the portal, and you should become attuned for transdimensional travel. That goes here. That goes here. You are now ready to use the portal. Be warned, once you step through, you will appear in another dimension at Ambermill. There will be 100, perhaps 1,000 magi ready to kill you. There's more like 30. I would say no amp reaction for two reasons. Number one, I am leveling very quickly on purpose. I am specifically heirloomed out, you know, just geared completely out, so I level faster. Hey, I'm Sonda. I will also say that I prefer this method than the alternative, especially like it was in vanilla, for one really big reason. And that really big reason is, let's say that I really enjoy a given zone. Or let's say I really like leveling in a particular area or whatever. And let's say I really don't like leveling in a particular area. The fact that I am basically out-leveling quests gives me the agency of deciding where I can quest while I'm leveling up, whether I'm playing it for the first time or the 50th time. So I would prefer having more exp and running the green line or the gray line than having too little exp and having to do everything whether I want to or not. So, just my take on it. Possibly Zuan? Asterisk? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. That is the truth. Hey, 70. I have not seen you in forever. I thought you gave up forever. I haven't seen a lot of my regulars from this Lorerun. The YouTube upload will be starting March 22nd, which I believe is this Tuesday, actually. Must kill Lorerun mages. I still agree with the option to change the X-Plighter, like we've talked about lately. That wouldn't be hard to program. In fact, it would be incredibly easy to program. And it would take almost no time to do. Thank you, Chili, I think. I'll take that as a compliment. And yes, I am 70. Excellent work. Now to eject them into our waiting hands. Their corpses will feed the Forsaken War Machine. You must find the being responsible for this. Likely that fool Atarak. Search the compound for him. Should you find him, do what you must to stop him from channeling his magic. He is undoubtedly protecting by a powerful arcane shield and will send minions of arcane energy after you. Defeat the minions while you are near him to unleash their energies. No mage can handle that much power. Also, this is kind of neat, actually. The Forsaken can't enter this area. Alright, what the? Cower monster as I summon a veritable army of wolfoids. Now you are surrounded by wolfoids. What will you do? Where will you run? Oh my god, it was a witch-a-lock. A witch-a-lock just summoned an army of wolfoids, guys. I don't think I've ever caught that joke before. So anyways, because sheep are terrible weapons of destruction. God, what the hell was I talking about? I just completely destroyed my brain. Aha, here we go. Okay, so there's the edge of the boundaries which they can't actually go through. So there's lots and lots of troops just waiting, literally outside there. The best part is when you're within this area, you can see without. So they can see the invading army that's about to invade. The army can't actually see them. They're just waiting there for some sign of the fact that they can finally start invading. Which, yeah. We're kind of going through the lore as we go, if that makes any sense. We've actually talked about the old gods quite a bit already. Okay, so for those of you who don't get it, I don't blame you. It's a very, very esoteric, very not that well-known joke. So, some of you have probably heard of this webcomic. Maybe you've heard of it, you might not have. Called Penny Arcade. So, there's actually this running gag in Penny Arcade that there's this terrible author that the characters have to interact with, who's written this really, really, really badly written fantasy story about witch-a-locks, who are actually warlocks who are also witches, because they're hermaphrodites. And also they summon wolfoids, which are androids, but also werewolves. And the main character is like a Wolverine-type character, but instead of claws coming out of his hands, wands come out of his hands. And it's ridiculously hilarious. Yeah, that's where that's coming from. The armies of the Alliance will march upon your bones. I think that's pretty much confirmation that they were actually... Lorerun belongs to the Alliance. You only delay the inevitable. Yeah, I think that's confirmation that these guys have flung their lot in with the Alliance. Not that we knew that until we went in here. Run! Do not let them turn you! The dimensional barrier is broken. Take them now! For the Banshee Queen! Rise, Magi! Be reborn as Forsaken! Bam. Forsaken mages. That's quite a bit of a boon. There's the Archmage that was just defending against us. You know, the funny thing is someone as intelligent as a Dalaran mage might join the Forsaken quicker than others would. No, he didn't have a talk option.
Speak quickly.
Now, I know you're thinking, well, why is that so? Well, a Dalaran mage would be intelligent enough to realize the hopeless futility of their situation once they were risen, much quicker than a normal person would. So...
Trust no one.
yeah...
Speak, friend.
I only hope we don't get up being beaten down by inconspicuous birds and cats or trees or seals. Could you imagine it?
Go forth to victory.
So, as you can see, Godfrey, Ashbury, and Walden have changed gear a little bit. For those of you who don't remember these three people, Godfrey, of course, you should recognize, but the other two were the two other members of the nobility who were supporting them. Why do you ask, Django? Who were supporting them, supporting him in his rebellion against Greymane, because he believed no Morgan should ever be king of Gilneas. Funnily enough, we killed Ashbury and Walden, and then Godfrey committed suicide rather than being ruled by us.
I have no time for games.
Had I not witnessed what you did with my own eyes, I would not have believed it. Now the Amber Mill Magi are on our side, and there's but one thing left to do before we retake Gilneas and send those Alliance dogs running for Stormwind.
What are we, if not slaves to this torment?
Before I take this quest, I want to talk about how Sylvanas is incredibly arrogant. I guess I'm exaggerating. She's arrogant. Not as arrogant as Ashara, or any Naga, or a few other people I could mention, but she's definitely got some arrogance to her. Ow! To give you a direct example of what I'm talking about, when she raised Godfrey, she automatically said, You will now serve as an instrument of my vengeance. Keep in mind, she doesn't actually have the ability to mind control. She has to convince them to join her. And so her way of convincing them to join her is saying, You will serve me! That's not the most convincing way to get someone to join you. I know that sounds weird, but it's true. And so she just automatically assumes all of these Forsaken Raisin will join her. The thing they did back in Death Knell, that makes sense. Statistically speaking, the vast majority of undead who get up there, the ones who are the third. So of that third, virtually 100% of that third are going to join the Forsaken because of the slow, gradual, insidious way that they manipulated the people into joining, right? Raising someone up on the field, and this is why I mentioned that they shouldn't do this out here on the field, is incredibly dangerous and volatile. And again, I remind you, not everyone who gets up like that has the willpower to even survive the process. What she just did was, and I agree, Dakota, what she just did was actually very stupid. Just bringing up all those mages. How many of those mages who got up, I wonder, just went crazy from the trauma of it, of dying, and then immediately being brought back up as a Forsaken? How many of them decided to say, screw this? How many of them decided to not join or say, I'm out or whatever, you know? That was an incredibly overconfident, stupid mistake on her part. Worgen Yes, is the answer to your question, Agamemnon, because Worgen Undead can be both Undead Human and Undead Worgen. Yes, I do, Jay, genuinely. I thought that back in Warcraft 3.
What joy is there in this curse?
The hour of victory approaches, Despire. Godfrey has devised a plan to decimate our enemies. I am sending you to the field with him and his men to bring the rebel insurgents to their knees and seal the fate of the Alliance filth encroaching upon our lands. Our final march begins when you are ready. Well, I mentioned why May... Okay, why is May 1st relevant, I guess is my question, Jongo. Our forces in Pyrewood were recently taken by way of sneak attack. The 7th Legion managed to infiltrate the town with their scouts, decimating our troops. The Dark Lady has tasked us with a rescue mission. We are to find survivors and get them out of there. If any soldiers live, they are likely worthless, but we will do as the Dark Lady commands. Let's get this nonsense over with. She has made that mistake before. She thought she could cow a Nethrezim. A Nethrezim! Our enemies are becoming smarter, adapting to our tactics. Recently an attack was made on Pyrewood Village southwest of here. Our troops occupying the town were decimated, of course, but what made the attack especially interesting was the racial composition of the attacking force. No humans were used. Rightfully, they fear being animated as Forsaken. Let us teach the non-humans a lesson, because this is the one and only quest in the actual game that mentions the the human-only rising thing, by the way. I just feel like pointing that out because we had to go for, gotcha, Django. We had to go and get confirmation from writers and devs to verify if that quest was just so much hot air. Also, I like this. For pity's sake, Ashbury, cover yourself. Your leg bones are popping out. I did not bring this wretched affliction upon myself, Godfrey. It was a gift, remember? Now kindly enjoy the gift and shut up! The attacks on our front are a distraction. With our attention turned towards the Worgen onslaught, the Alliance managed to take Pyrewood Village from the occupying forces. It must be purged. With these torches, we will burn the village to the ground, leaving only ashes behind. Now, I find that funny for two reasons. First of all, that's stupid. Second of all, it is rather amusing to me... Hey, look, the orcs are still here. It is rather amusing to me that that Godfrey, of all people, would be someone who would want to burn Pyrewood Village to the ground. For those of you not aware, he's a rogue, Origin. For those of you not aware, Pyrewood was the village that was left behind when, on purpose, I want to stress, by Godfrey and others of his ilk when they built the wall. So he already has a bit of a disdain for this location. They're everywhere, watch out. So in case you missed that, I just walked up, talked to the guy, freed them, and she's like, they're everywhere, watch out. And then Godfrey shot her to death and said, worthless maggot. You know, I always loved Silverpine, until the Lich King let loose his rampaging scourge armies and turned the land into a massive rotting corpse pit. Watch this. Cowards don't get to return home. Yeah, Godfrey is actually more messed up than Sylvanas. I mean that sincerely, by the way. Is it safe? Oh wow, he actually didn't kill one of them. Godfrey is a complete and utter bastard. I think that's probably the nicest way I could ever put that. He's really messed up in the head. Through fire we purge this land of its impurities. Oh, he was like this when he was alive. He was just more subtle about it. Again, I stress, this guy was totally okay with taking a little under half of the Gilnean people and telling them to go screw themselves and locking them behind the wall. and losing all their lands and homes and all that. He was totally fine with that. I mean, that's just one thing he was responsible for. He was not a nice person. And remember what I mentioned about how being risen as undead is kind of traumatizing? And you're not really the same person when you get up. I mean, you're the same soul, you're the same individual, but as I used the parallel earlier, if you lost a leg and then kept going on, you're probably going to be a changed person from that. And he gives a quote here, "Some people only want to watch the world burn. Others want to be the one responsible for burning it." He died in battle. Bow your heads. Yeah, Godfrey's a monster. Ironically, both the Alliance and the Horde want to kill him. Oh, but sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Reduced to ashes. Soon nothing will be left of Gilneas or the Worgen taint. So yeah, basically, Godfrey looks at Sylvanas and all the horribly evil things she does and say, "Wow, what a pussy." And he actually wants to be more and worse. This is not me making this up. That is legitimately his perspective. Damn it, stop getting in my way. I'm a little amazed he let some of them live, to be completely honest with you. It really is not in keeping with his particular style, I think is the word I want to use there. Yeah, actually, Django, that's pretty accurate. Now, I mean, as I've already pointed out, Sylvanas is not, like... she's stupid. She's either stupid with reason, aka she's so focused on her goal and so terrified she can't think straight, or she's stupid because she's stupid. I mean, take your pick. I suspect we'll see fewer humans at the battlefront. The risk for these cowards is too great. What happened here today is between us. Say a word to anyone and you'll find yourself in a corpse pit next to these poor fools. The part of me that was Gilnean died at Tempest's Reach. Only vengeance remains. To that end we have work to do. Spare me your pointless queries. Just do as I say and we'll end this war without incident. Unless you count the death of every Worgen in Lorerun as an incident. By the way, they literally threaten you, so if you talk about the fact that they were murdering Forsaken troops, they'll kill you too. The Alliance reinforcements have established a foothold in the southwest region of Silverpine, called the 7th Legion Base Camp. Our primary goal at the base camp is to sow discord amongst the troops. This is a lightning-fast assassination mission to kill their commander. His death won't stop the advance, but it'll soften their ranks. Walden, stop casting inner fire on yourself, buddy. Walden. Walden! Ham. While destroying Pyrewood will certainly garner us advantage over the Alliance upon the field of battle, our true objective is to leave them crippled. Southwest of here lies the 7th Legion base camp. We must search it for their plans, and with the plans, we'll be able to pinpoint all of their advancements in Silverpine. Yes I can, Django. Oh, he's healing the imp. He's very inefficiently healing the imp, then. Good lord. You'll see, Jay. You'll see. Oh yeah, we dinged. We dinged. I like that, Django. Okay. You know, I like burning everything around me in hellfire, including myself. Let me loot. By the way, this is now just a default part of being a Demo Warlock. I can just cast Hellfire while moving, just without anything. Burn. Burn! It's not really useful right now, but it's kind of nice. I should level my Warlock more. But I'm waiting on packs for that. Gilneans was an impossible dream. Only a man of vision could have seen it through, but Greymane? Never. Aha! The battle plans. Hey! Someone wants to recruit me for a guild. Search every filthy dwarven corpse. Looks like reinforcements from ships are coming soon. Crowley and the Bloodfang have set up an encampment to the southeast for the GLF. Well, it's not useful until I have the gear to back it up. So it's kind of nice until it's useful. Hence my statement. Oh, there he is. It's a Wildhammer. You know, I love killing Wildhammer dwarfs more than any other dwarfs. I don't know why. It totally has nothing to do with the fact they're awesome. They're worthy opponents in battle. Yeah, it's funny. Oh, he's got Grand Marshal weapons, too, you bastard. The rest of the Alliance fleet will arrive shortly and we'll find their base camp decimated. Now for the second and most important part of our plan. Lorna Crowley, daughter of Lord Darius Crowley, is currently at the Gilneans Liberation Front camp, southeast of here. Our primary mission is to infiltrate and capture her alive. The Dark Lady believes she'll be able to use Lorna as a bargaining chip. I say we just kill her and bring her back as Forsaken, but we'll do as the Dark Lady commands. That's also a bit of an insight onto the difference between the two of them. Again, Sylvanas is evil, let's make that clear. But Godfrey is like, well, why would I want to take prisoners when I could just murder them and bring them back as undead? And if they don't want to join us, we can just murder them again. I mean, I don't understand the problem here. The Force is strong with you, young Nothrazem. But you are not a Jedi yet. Yeah, no, Zoan. Well, she's not going to feel that way long, Bitmonk. Hey, Crowley. So, the Banshee Queen sent assassins? Yeah. Lorna, is that how you greet old friends? Godfrey. So the rumors are true. You would betray your kingdom out of spite. My kingdom is no more. Your father and Greymane saw to that. No, Gilneans died when they allowed murderous beasts to reign free, unchecked. Now lay down your arms and surrender. We're not here to kill you. Not yet. You'll have to kill me. Die! Well, okay. I mean, orders are orders, I guess. Kill the wild. And what the crap? Okay, that's bad. That's bad. I lost all of my ads. That's the second time that's happened today, too. Okay, we're okay. Hopefully. There they go. They respawned. Okay, so get her. Stop healing me. Bugs! I'm gonna kill a worgen to make myself feel better. Not that I'm aware of, not through Zone. Yeah, there's a huge amount of phasing in this area. And I'm hugely in favor of phasing, but there are some problems. Notice he's healing me for 4, by the way. You see that? Every single one of those heals is healing me for 4. Let me show you how it's done, buddy. Hopefully they won't despawn this time. There's another player here too. Oh my god. Yeah, I know, right, Jay? For those not aware, my health right now at level 23 is 2,240. A little math would tell you how many heals it would take to make that happen. Hey, it's the same cutscene! But now with even more enthusiastic voice acting. Lorna, is that how you greet your old friends? Ha ha ha! Godfrey, so the rumors are true. You would betray your own kingdom out of spite. How wonderful. My kingdom? My kingdom is no more. Your father and Greymane saw to that. No, Gilneans died when they allowed murderous beasts to reign free, unchecked. And now, lay down your arms and surrender. We are not here to kill you, not yet. 1 person killed. 2 people killed. Actually, I was thinking of Yes Man from New Vegas, but nothing matters. Okay, now we got her. Jeez Louise. Megalovania. The good news is that quest shared even though we didn't tag him, because, yeah. Because that's how that's supposed to happen. Oh yeah, I was going to read something earlier. Where was it? Crowley? This is Godfrey speaking. Crowley? I knew him. He was nothing more than a criminal before the curse took over our land. Now he's some great Worgen hero? Sickening. Not to my knowledge, no, Jay. I never played Dog or God.
We are the Forsaken.
You've done
We
it.
will slaughter anyone who stands in our way.
Should Crowley not accept our terms, his daughter will be turned.
What joy is there in this curse?
Hello, Salty. Our armies may have clashed across the battlefield. Crowley and his forces are losing ground, and they do not yet know the fate of Lorna Crowley. We will meet with Crowley and his compatriots at midfield, and I'll present them with terms of their surrender. They will either accept it, or we will kill them all and leave their cities in dust. As my most trusted soldier, you are to stand by my side during the exchange. I like how that's considered like a point of honor to her. Onwards to Spire. We will beat back the Alliance dogs and secure Lorerun for the Horde. Song of Sylvanas. Anybody who's ever done the Battle for the Undercity recognizes this particular buff. I am basically death working right now. Or death walking. I'm actually death sprinting at the moment. Bam! Yes, I just hit them with a dot tick for 4,000. Goodbye. So, as I mentioned earlier, Sylvanas herself is not actually that powerful. I've made that point more than once. But she is a good general. Or at least she was. She has a great ability to coordinate and a great ability to inspire others. Yes, this is actually the exact same tomb from the Battle of the Undercity. I should probably stop screwing around so much. Come on, Sylvanas. Lay down your arms and surrender. I will leave your cities in dust and your lives in ruins! Look at them despire. They scurry like rats, veering headlong to their doom. Surely Crowley and the Bloodfang can see the futility in this. To the Grey Mane Wall, we will force their hands. This is also the difference between Sylvanas and Crowley, by the way. She's basically offering them the chance to retreat. Crowley wouldn't offer that. He would say, you're dead, the end. Crowley, your forces have fallen. You have lost. It's not over, Sylvanas. Not yet. You frivolously throw away the lives of your people while your own king sits upon his throne of lies, nary lifting a finger to help. Couple years, Jay. Is Gilneans worth the lives that have been lost? The lives that will be lost? You cannot win. We will die trying. And your daughter? You could have saved her. You could have offered her own. You could offer her your blood, yet you did not. Why? Lorna! Where is she? What have you done to her? Nothing. Yet. I now present you with a choice I was never given. I offer you the life of Lorna for your unconditional surrender. Choose your next words wisely, Crowley. Deny me, and she will serve me in undeath forever. Bring her, Godfrey. Godfrey, you deceitful maggot! Hello, old friend. Lorna, release her. I will sound the retreat. You can't be serious, Crowley, you miserable bastard. Release her, Godfrey. Of course, mistress. Now leave here, Crowley, and never return. Lorerun belongs to the Forsaken. Oh, forgive me, my daughter. See? Just to make it clear, she did allow them to retreat. I wasn't just extrapolating that. Now, she doesn't do it out of consideration. And she's shot in the back. What have you done, Godfrey? Something that should have been a long time ago, you filthy animal. Gilneans belongs to me, and soon so will the rest of Lorerun. Now join your mistress in death! Fall back, brothers, to Shadowfang. This land will quiver and shake in the wake of our destruction. Fix it! Fix her! We are bound to her, sisters. It will destroy us, sister. It is our sacred duty. The pact was sealed, the bargain made. Then let it be done. And now... Sylvanas is down to 5 valkyr. And she saw only darkness. As I drifted towards nothing, a brilliant light appeared, and then another, and another. My dear valkyr. I know now beyond a doubt, the shadow of a doubt, that the valkyr are our future. We will never stop fighting for Lorderun. Never.
We are the Forsaken. We will slaughter anyone who stands in our way.
This is not over. Godfrey and his treacherous allies will pay for what they've done, as will the remaining alliance. Our work has only just begun. I like the name of this quest, by the way. Empire of Dirt. It's from a song. This war has taken its toll on us as a people. We've lost much to secure our place as rightful rulers of Lorderun. And though the moment is won, the battle continues to rage in other parts of the eastern kingdoms. I must return to the Undercity to recuperate, and to be terrified and huddled in fear. I want you to go to Hillsbrad foothills in my stead, to Spire. As my most trusted soldier, you will lead our forces to absolute domination. I didn't see any dialogue I missed from Godfrey, so I have no idea what you're talking about. Gotta be honest, when Pax and I first did this quest, this whole chain, and then we saw, the Empire of Dirt, it was just like, wow. That is really appropriate, too. If you'll forgive me, I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole, the old familiar sting. Try to kill it all away, but I remember everything. What have I become, my sweetest friend? Everyone I know, gone away in the end. You could have it all, my empire of dirt. I will let you down. I will make you hurt. Johnny Cash. Hurt. And this is really appropriate because there's no one left alive here, except for a few disparate forces and a burning town. And, yeah. This is probably one of the most Pyrrhic victories the Forsaken have ever had. Oh, was Johnny Cash's run a cover? I wouldn't know. I've literally only ever heard the Johnny Cash version myself. However, I'm going to go ahead and deal with this now, I think. Ah. So apparently, excuse me, 9-inch nails hurt. My bad. So, one of my viewers, whose name is Jay, I've been deliberately not answering a question. Why don't we see if we can go after Lord Godfrey? Who's with me? So this is Shadowfang Keep. Ah, there's nobody here. Shadowfang Keep was one of the Gilnean holdings in the area, run by a Baron, Baron Silverpine. Unfortunately, there's really not a lot of lore into the backstory of Shadowfang Keep, other than the fact that this was one of the better entrenched areas in the Gilnean territories, other than the city of Gilneas itself. Obviously, as you can see, it was abandoned north of the wall. He did still have Pyrewood Village at his beck and call, though. Then the Worgen came, and basically everyone in here died. And all of them ended up serving... There we go. All of them ended up becoming cursed by the Worgen, and Erugal, who went crazy, ended up actually joining the Worgen and took over Shadowfang Keep as this cursed place of doom. Yes, of Doom. It's in the descriptor.
Speak quickly.
So as you can see, Belmont did survive because he's awesome. Ahem. Do you think a handful of Worgen vermin could stop me? Ha! Shadowfang Keep was part of Lorerun Kingdom in life, so it's quite fitting it should belong to the Forsaken in death. That's debatable, but whatever. Godfrey and his accomplices are a minor obstacle at best, and of course we're all happy to take them out for their treachery against the Dark Lady. Ashbury has positioned himself near the front of the keep, leaving him wide open for attack. Start us out on the right foot, won't you?
Goodbye.
As a bit of an aside, really quick, if you come here as Alliance, you're actually following orders from one of the Worgen, and I suddenly can't remember who it is, actually. This special plague we're spreading will keep Godfrey's forces from leaving the keep, but still allow our troops to move in and take it for the Forsaken. Absolutely not, Kay. He doesn't have anything he needs to do that. Godfrey is an unremittent, remorseless bastard. And that's basically it. Ivar, thank you. I thought it was Ivar, but I wasn't sure, because Crowley left. In fact, I'm not sure Crowley really does anything from this point on. Darius, I mean. He was allowed to leave peacefully, if you recall. It is funny, though, because the overall plan for Godfrey here is quite literally use this as a way to reclaim power and march across the Forsaken and take them over for himself. Now, one interesting point of note here, there's a lot of undead here. There's only really two ways to consider that. Either he actually has some necromantic power, and these are type 1 undead, which is actually possible, or these are the undead that were already here, and he just kind of moved in. Also, Baron Ashbury just said to a Forsaken trooper, "I'm trying to convince Godfrey to just kill all of you and end your misery, but he keeps telling me no. More pain and suffering for the lot of you then." Looming over Pyrewood Village from the southern bluffs of Silverpine, Shadowfang Keep casts a dark shadow as its legacy. Sinister forces occupy these ruins, formerly the dwelling of the mad mage Arugal's Worgen. The restless shade of Baron Silvermine still lingers, while Lord Godfrey and his cabal of erstwhile Gilnean noblemen plot against their enemies both living and dead. This is Ashbury. Slain by Worgen, us actually, raised into undeath by the Forsaken, us again. The traitor Baron Ashbury toys with his foes, keeping them alive so he can inflict maximum pain and suffering. He has an ability called Stay of Execution, which is actually really messed up. Basically, he'll kill the crap, he'll cast Asphyxiate, which brings you down to 1 health, and then he'll cast Stay of Execution, which heals you, because he wants to torture you more. There's an achievement, which actually was one of the harder ones for us to do in Kata, to basically not let him heal you. So he gets you down to 1 health, and then you interrupt his heal, and then you kill him. What was that one? Here it is. Pardon denied. As you can see, it's one of the last ones we got, right here, right towards the top. Defeat him without letting you heal with Stay of Execution. It was really unpleasant. That was a hard one for us to do. We did manage it finally, though. But we're not going to do it either. We're just going to kill him. Tally-ho! The hunt begins. Oh yeah, he's also got a shadow form, which is kind of cool. Killed by lowly commoners. How droll. I want to make sure sound's on. There's some voice acting in here. Yeah, you're more skilled in combat than I thought. Very well, let's get the courtyard door open so we can continue our mission. Wait, I want to let the Forsaken out. And the human. Can I let the... Let me let the... You're not going to let me free the prisoners? Seriously? Okay, sure. I'll pretend that they did that. Sure.
Hello.
Very well done. They've gotten a hold of powerful allies, but nothing a rogue champion of the Banshee Queen can't handle. The best part about the plague is that even when it visually fades away, the remaining residue is quite potent. However, we have an enormous area to cover before we're done, with plenty of Godfrey's defenses in the way. It appears the spirits that served Baron Silvermane and the commander Springvale in life now guard them in death, and Godfrey is using them to deter us. Show them all the iron will of the Forsaken.
Our time will come.
I like when they started doing this with more recent dungeons. The fact that, now that we've killed the trash here, the NPCs move in. It gives a feeling of the dungeon being more of a fluid, live environment rather than just a static one. I like when they do stuff like this. Now, they're blighting the crap out of this place. This is probably the one time I agree with their reasoning in doing so. And it's specifically to ensure that Godfrey and his ilk don't escape. Because it's a specific form of blight that prevents them from that. I don't know how it prevents them. But assuming that they are being honest, and I have no reason to assume they are not, I'm with that. This one time, not in Silverpine, not in Hillsbrad, not in fricking Anderhall, but here I'm okay with it, because Godfrey really does need to die. Because screw him. And there's the, I think Warlock quest? Or is that a... I don't remember. There's a Paladin or a Warlock or something quest over here. So it's just a quick question. Back in the old Shadowfang Keep, the vanilla one, how many of you would go this way? And how many of you go this way? I'm just curious. Nowadays you're supposed to go this way with the new one. Yes, that is correct. Leave this accursed place at once. So this is actually kind of cute. See if I can hit him without killing him. Yep. So he summons random Worgen spirits as part of the fight. Every single one of these Worgen spirits that he summons is actually one of the Worgen bosses. You notice they even have the old Worgen model from back in vanilla. So we've got Rethelgor there. And let's see what we get next here. I should read his thing while we're standing here. The Wolf Master. Baron Silvermane was a master of the keep before it fell to Erigol's Worgen, but now his cursed spirit calls upon the very wolf beast that slaughtered him to punish further trespassers into his home. And Odo the Blind Watcher, that was the other big one. He's kind of cool looking. Death is only a temporary respite from my curse. Excellent! Now to plague this area, and move on to... Chromosh, what are you doing here? This is a covert operation. Unless I'm mistaken, the war chief explicitly forbids use of the full plague, no matter circumstances. Oh, my apologies, Chromosh, but I assure you there is no problem. We are using a diluted plague. In fact, it really only serves to scare the Worgen from trying to follow us here. It's completely harmless. Then I'm sure you won't mind if I accompany you on your mission. Be warned, Belmont. If I find out you're lying, you'll see the war chief's wrath firsthand. But of course, we have the Horde's best interests in mind, sir. These heroes were just about to continue on and kill Springvale for us. I have to admit, this is another one of those situations where I mean, Shadowfang Keep isn't as useful as certain other territories to be taken and held, but it's still a pretty useful location. It's a very well fortified, very well positioned keep in a territory they are trying to hold. So, I mean, you know, you'd think they'd want to keep it. Intruders in the keep, to arms! Quick! Cast Consecrate, because that's all paladins do, right? Come on, do it. Cast Consecrate. Boom! Wait, that doesn't look like concentration. What the hell? Yeah, no, he's dead. Oh, oop. And again, notice how they're still moving through here with you. I've sent men forward on the rooftops to secure the area around Lord Walden. Of course, somebody's gonna have to take care of the small army between here and there.
I'm listening.
Kromosh has a thick skull and a fool's brain, and we'll use that to our advantage. By the time anybody finds out about the plague's true potency, it'll be far too late. Thank you for keeping quiet during his tirade. I promise you won't regret it. Unsurprisingly, we aren't going to listen to Kromosh about the plague. However, his brute strength will come in handy for muscling my men through the many foes ahead on the path to Godfrey. The most powerful being his right-hand man, Lord Walden. I'll meet you in Walden's chamber after you finish him off.
Dark Lady, watch over you.
The boss we just killed was Commander Springvale, a loyal soldier, and the ghost of Commander Springvale haunts the council room, being unholy strikes to avenge his lord, Baron Silvermane. I think you mean didn't, and I have no idea. Really, I don't. No good answer for you. I like the claw marks on the walls here. Nice touch. Back when this was held by, you know, Worgen. Excuse me. Ignore the gargoyles. They're an irritant to tank. No, I don't, Jay. At multiple points in their history. Hello, Charlord. There's probably only one thing I didn't like about Shadowfang Keep, both then and now. It's very closed quarters fighting, which can get a little bit weird with camera angles at times. Our next boss is Lord Walden, Godfrey's right-hand man, the arrogant Lord Walden, vowed to pay any price, including death, to serve his compatriot. Now among the undead, Walden intends to keep his word, attacking adversaries with ice and venom. So the previous guy was the priest, paladin, whatever. This guy's the alchemist. This is actually a fun fight. Missing pages, broken equipment, tainted samples. How does someone work in these conditions? Even here I find myself ever beset by fools. So green is a keep moving. He does many different concoctions, and based on what they are, you have to either move, not move, dodge, etc. It's actually a really fun fight. I actually really like a lot of the WoW fights, pretty much from Kata on, in terms of sheer mechanics. The time has come, soldiers. Godfrey lies just ahead. Have no mercy. We fight. Where's Kromosh? Well, anyways, and then the orc says, "For the Horde!" and charges through. You'd better hurry up if you want to get in on all the fun.
I am forsaken.
The time has come. Godfrey will fall. If all goes well, you'll be able to walk right into Godfrey's personal domain and take a fitting reward for such an eager young rogue. Godfrey's a cunning foe, though, so it may be wise to head up there just in case you're needed. He will pay for what he did to the Dark Lady. He cost her 3 valkyr. In all seriousness, that's a really big deal. In fact, one of the questions that's been asked, which I do not have an answer for, by the way, is why it took 3 valkyr to resurrect her, when in other cases, well, the only other case we're aware of, it took 1. I don't know the answer. I have no idea why it took 3 valkyr to resurrect her that one time. So, I got no answers. Sorry. We are following the story linearly, Formosan, since, you know, this is what happens next after we finish Silverpine Forest. She's an intriguing character, Zoan. She does have a decent amount of tragedy to her. I mean, if you really go through all of Sylvanas' stuff. I don't know, Torin? I mean, we could speculate on that. Why is the door shut? What in Sylvanas' name is going on here? Chromash! What happened? The guard killed them.
What is it?
Poisoned me. Oh, hi, Noralex. Oh, you'll pay for this, Godfrey. Heroes, you must kill Godfrey. I'll make sure nothing interferes. You want to help me with the fight? No? Okay. Drawing from his past as a Gilnean noble and a Forsaken agent, the cunning and resourceful Lord Godfrey wields dual pistols and commands relentless flesh-eating ghouls. So here's the interesting thing. You remember how I mentioned the necromancy thing? He can summon ghouls. They are clearly type 1 undead, but still, he also has cursed bullets. So... not sure what to make of that overall. Like I said, I've always just had the impression he is, in fact, a necromancer in addition to everything else. Hey, buddy. I'm not going to say what he says there, but Sylvanas sent you to die, didn't she? No matter. Your journey ends in agony. See, here he is, summoning ghouls. He also has this ability called Pistol Barrage, which basically will kill you if we were doing this back in the day, if you stand in it. And, is a lot of fun to do. I kind of wish we had an ability like that as a hunter. Oh, that's right, Barrage. Never mind. Down you go. I thank you for the clean death. I would not have done the same. And the sad thing is, that is totally true.
I am forsaken.
For a moment there, I thought all was lost. Even when surrounded by the Worgen, I had higher hopes. But you've proved me wrong, Tamazat. I'll see to it that Sylvanas herself hears about your triumph here today. Oh, don't worry about the mess here. I'll gladly see to it myself.
Remember, patience, discipline.
That's what I thought. The good news is Chromash does survive this situation. I was just making sure I had the right orc. Godfrey was an idiot. This is a level 25 instance, I believe. Pretty sure. Dip, dip. No, that was right. I don't know, okay. Either way, that is the end of Silverpine. I'm going to take a lunch break because I am in pain. And then I will be back to do arguably another of my favorite zones post-Kata. That zone, of course, being Hillsbrad. See you in a bit, guys.